San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Wednesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, broadcasting to you live from the Bill House Studios. We know how on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3, The Fan. All right, last night's game, not that great for the Padres. They dropped one to Milwaukee 6-4, had multiple chances late in the ball game to get the job done. Unfortunately for the Padres, came up just a little bit short. And a lot of yesterday, I think, is relatively the end of the Matt Waldron experiment. I mean, this is a guy, and I think Matt Waldron is a nice guy. You know, I think he's easy to try to root for. I mean, in terms of like him being a good person, you know, he works hard, all that fun stuff. But the reality is, I mean, you can't continue to roll him out there on, you know, every fifth day and have results happen like yesterday. And I don't want this to be like a just crush a Matt Waldron kind of day. I mean, he said it yesterday, and this is the tough comments about the reality of the situation. You know, he knows what he needed to do yesterday. Obviously, he wants to be a big league pitcher. He wants to be in Major League Baseball. The guy works incredibly hard to be in that position. But when asked about it, I mean, he said, my numbers aren't very good right now. I'm just going to, you know, and they got a rotation spot that's up. I'm just going to leave it at that, to paraphrase what he said from yesterday. But, I mean, Lucas Giolito has to be activated by Saturday. I think this situation played itself out. Now, here's the deal with Matt Waldron, okay? With what he did yesterday, we're going to talk more about the rotation in just a little bit. I don't necessarily think, a lot of people just, you know, they think they're going to pick up. I'm not convinced that Matt Waldron's getting picked up on waivers. I mean, maybe a team might be desperate to try to get more starting pitching as part of their equation. But if you're looking at the Padres rotation right now because you have to make a move for Giolito, who are you willing to try to, like, who are you willing to see pitch against you this season? I don't want to see Walker Buehler pitch against the Padres this season, not the way he's been trending in the right direction. I don't necessarily know what you do with Germán Marquez, but, you know, right now, Marquez is on the injured list. I think you got to give more time, obviously, to Griffin Canning. You haven't seen what Lucas Giolito does. You're not touching Michael King or Randy Vasquez. And right now, the bullpen situation, I don't think you're willing to give up on a guy like Bradley Rodriguez, which nobody would ever do based on his skill set. But if we're talking about players available to potentially move around, you don't have any in the bullpen either. So I don't know what you do with Matt Waldron, but I'm telling you right now, I think that's the easy move for the Padres before Saturday when they have to have Lucas Giolito back on this club. I mean, yesterday was not great and things started to unravel for Matt Waldron. And some of the situations, the ball didn't bounce his way, but he also put himself in said situations that led to the ball eventually not bouncing his way. He gave up the home run on his knuckleball. I mean, from a pitching standpoint and from defense played well, and he said it yesterday. The offense did enough to win yesterday. The defense played well, and he pitched poorly. That's what he said. He summed it up pretty well. I mean, the defense was not electric yesterday. I mean, it was fine. They played solid defense. And the pitching staff around Waldron was great. Bradley Rodriguez did his job as an opener, put up a 0. Everybody's favorite dynamic duo from the fans that like to complain about these bullpen arms and Wandy Peralta and Yuki Matsui. They did their job yesterday. That's what their job is on this team. Their job is when you're in a deficit to continue to put up zeros. They did that yesterday. I thought Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta saved the bullpen yesterday, considering the circumstances of having to use multiple guys. But this is now a trend for Matt Waldron in which the beginning part of his career in 2024 looks more like the anomaly than what you have seen as of late out of Matt Waldron, dating back to the last couple of years. When you look at his body of work, he came out of the gate strong. People didn't know anything about the knuckleball, right? They still needed to get tape on him. Relatively new pitcher. He did very well. They made him an adjustment. His last 10 starts of his first year, his ERA was through the roof. He was not getting the ounce he was looking for earlier, that he was getting earlier in that season. He wasn't very effective. The next year, 2025, he made one start. He gave up a ton of runs in a very small outing. This year, he had one really good outing against a Giants team that can't hit, that is like in shambles right now, although they're starting to figure it out a little bit against the Dodgers. Thank you. And then he had a decent outing during the Cubs, but even during that decent outing of the overall numbers of 5 innings and 3 runs or less, which he gave up 3 runs in 5 innings, he was getting tagged and got bailed out by the defense a handful of times. So aside from that, I just don't know what you do with Matt Waldron, aside from trying to fit him through waivers. I mean, yesterday, Bradley Rodriguez, an inning, no runs. Wandy Peralta, 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs. Yuki Matsui, 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs. The bullpen played well yesterday. It pitched well. Yuki Matsui, I know, just came back, hasn't allowed an earned run yet. Wandy Peralta. Anybody want to know Wandy Peralta's ERA right now? Anybody want to know what Wandy Peralta's ERA right now? If you had a guess, I bet you people would say like 4.5. 4.5, yeah. 2.66 ERA, Wandy Peralta. Bradley Rodriguez is a 1.74 ERA. So, again, bullpen did their job. In terms of the offense from yesterday, we're going to obviously take a deeper dive into yesterday's game a little bit as well. They actually did a lot better against the starter than you would think. Well, then they have all year. Against rookie right-hander Brandon Sproat, Padres had 3 runs off the starter, forced him out before 6 innings, collected 6 hits off of him, put runners on in 5 of the 6 innings he started. Very modest accomplishments, but yet accomplishments nonetheless for this offense that has struggled against starting pitching. That represents some progress, I would say. The Padres had more hits off Sproat than they had against any of the previous 5 opposing starters. The same number of hits against Sproat alone as they had against the previous 3 starters combined. Larger issue for the offense remains unchanged. Opposing starters on a 3.29 ERA against the Padres this season. Those same pitchers have a 4.31 ERA against the rest of Major League Baseball. That gap continues to define San Diego's season. Because even when the Padres win, they've largely survived because of elite bullpen work and situational contributions from role players rather than sustained offensive production from stars. So on the surface, scoring 4 runs, that has actually been a recipe for success for this Padres team. But even though they played a little bit better offensively than we have seen and did better offensively against the starting pitcher for Milwaukee than they have done against starting pitchers in the past, they still have a lot to improve on. But at least that was trending in the right direction. The biggest problem yesterday, unfortunately, was Matt Waldron giving up 6 earned runs. That was the biggest problem yesterday. Update on Fernando, since we got to give an update on Fernando every single game until he hits a home run. He did not hit a home run. I think he's getting close, though. AJ Cassaville talked about this in his recap article. Kevin Acee talked about it in his daily newsletter. I'm seeing it with my eyes. He is getting close on his swing path. And I think it's more than just launch angle. I don't want to use that. Is that painful to the emotions using the term launch angle for the afternoon show?
Was it launch angle or swing angle? Because it's swing angles.
We have talked about swing angle. Chris had a bad tweet about launch angle where he's been getting dragged for the last 3 days. You didn't hear that part of Gwen and Chris yesterday? Oh, man, that was bad.
Oh, boy.
You didn't see the comments of that tweet either?
No.
Poor Elo, dude. He's trying. I mean, I'm just saying, like, first of all, I think Elo misspoke on the tweet. He had a meltdown. It was bad yesterday. It was just not good. You didn't see the tweet that he had?
I saw the tweet. Yeah, I didn't bother to look into the.
He's got 117 replies to this thing.
Hey, it's called engagement right there.
Correct. He's talking about his low launch angle. I don't think Fernando's launch angle is 2.8. I think he is talking about his swing angle, but he put launch angle. Maybe he's not. And then he goes, the leader in launch angle is Tampa Bay's Cedric Mullins, who also has MLB's worst OPS among qualified players. I think he was trying to make an argument that like launch angle doesn't mean too much, but he misspoke on that tweet. So, I mean, I could see the misspeak. I'm on Elo's side on the misspeaking on the tweet, but like I can understand where fans are coming from on the sense of like, hey, it's more like the swing path than anything else. But the comments were just like ridiculous.
448,000 views too.
Hey, you know
That's
what?
engagement farming is what that is.
People know who Chris Elo is now. It's bad. Don't read the comments. I had somebody texted to me this morning going like, I apologize, you have to work with this guy. I'm like, that's a foul. Okay. I love Chris. Guy misspoke about the launch angle thing. Get off his ass. It's ridiculous. But since everybody's freaking out about Fernando, he's working on a swing path. It's going to take some time. I think he's close after yesterday. AJ Cassaville thinks he's close. I mean, we have now seen 2 games in a row where he's just missed a home run. And you know what he's doing? He's putting the ball in the air. Both to center field, which I think is fine. Tatis again crushed the ball that resulted in an out. 104.5 miles an hour exit velocity, 374 feet, 40-degree launch angle, caught in center field. He just got under it. 40 degrees, a little bit too high of a launch angle. Just got under it. His swing path seems to be a little bit better, though, Frank, based on what I've seen. This follows another deep fly out from Sunday where he hit 105.8 miles an hour, 393 feet, also to center field. Key concern, obviously, is Tatis hasn't pulled the ball too much. Only pulled 1 fly ball a season, but timing and approach may be a little off. He's elevating balls to center field, though. That's good. Positive news. Rather than turning on pitches, power production has become more accidental than intentional, which I don't mind. I'm tired of talking about Fernando in a sense of like this same subject every single day. But since he hasn't hit a home run yet, we'll address what happened yesterday. I'm encouraged with the 2 fly balls that he hit extremely hard off the bat, who's getting close to hitting a home run. But the other thing, too, is this whole conversation. I go back to what Buster only said on Gwen and Chris. This whole conversation about him trying to be like an overall hitter. I tell you what, he's put together some pretty good at-bats, Frank. He's worked some good walks. He's put together good at-bats. He hasn't swung and missed at bad pitches out of the zone as much as we've seen in the past. I think he is really developing into a pretty solid at-bat for the Padres. He's not going to get extra stats for that. I mean, unless you go find the QAB list on Baseball Reference, but he's putting together good at-bats. He's just missing home runs. He's just missed 2. I think it's coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he's definitely putting in more focus on becoming a better all-around hitter. So if that is the case, where his father said that he's not a good hitter, that he clearly took something out of that, and he's been focusing on that, and it's come at the expense of his power. So now he's focusing on becoming a better hitter. And now, because everyone's so used to seeing him hit 20 home runs a year, now he's got pressure on him to start showing the power again. And he's in that spot where he's trying to do 2 things at once, and it's not working. Neither one of them is working for him right now.
No,
because he's trying to do that.
Trying to do a little bit. I think he's trying to do potentially a little bit too much. But you know what? Overall yesterday, I thought the offense, Miguel Andujar, another home run. I mean, look at the people that contributed yesterday. Still role guys, still playing well. Miguel Andujar, home run. Nick Castellanos drove in 2 runs yesterday as he worked a pretty good at bat. I mean, he was hitting 146 on April 22nd. He's hitting 320 over his last 10 games and has raised his average 49 points. He has 10 RBIs during that stretch. Nick Castellanos, he explained a turnaround came from simplifying his mechanics, less leg kick, earlier foot plant, fewer moving parts, focus on pitch recognition and rhythm. I mean, Castellanos starting to turn things around a little bit. I think you saw that with the lineup yesterday. They need some offense, and they need it bad, and Craig Stammen is throwing it in the lineup.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We'll talk about the lineup a little bit later on, but there's not much more you can do with this lineup in order to get guys going. You've changed the lineup a million times over. You're putting guys in, you're subbing, you're pinch hitting, you're doing all this different stuff. There's not much more you can do now other than wait for it to click for some guys. And for Castellanos, especially with that 2-out single right back up the middle yesterday for 2 runs, he's showing that it's starting to click for him now.
And I will say this, you're still in first place. You know what the Dodgers did?
They took another San Francisco L.
The Dodgers have now lost, and you know what? I don't like talking about them too much because I don't care, but they're coming up next week, and the Padres have a half-game lead right now in the standings. The Dodgers have done something for the first time since like 1960 or something.
I'm looking for that right now.
Did you see that tweet?
Bob Nightingale.
Yeah, Nightingale had it. Yeah, I'll find it on my phone real quick.
The Dodgers have now lost 4 games in a row by 4 or more runs. First time that's happened since July 1936.
They haven't done it in 90 years. They've lost by 4 runs, 4 straight games. I mean, that's kind of crazy at this point in time, knowing that they are the best team money can buy. But I tell you what, despite the Padres winning ugly and losing frustrating games, they're staying afloat. I mean, they're staying around. Here's the overall portion of like what you're trying to do as the Padres. You want to be in playoff contention, which they are, and you want to be close enough to LA where they don't coast, and you put the pressure on. And right now they're doing that. They still have a lot of flaws that they need to fix. I think, and I will say this, I think, Frank, the Padres have flaws that could be fixed.
Yes.
I don't think this is like a roster rehaul situation to fix this team. I think that a lot of their stuff could be fixed, and you're starting to see it with individual players. And I think you're going to see it with Fernando soon, and we'll see what happens with the rotation coming up this weekend. I do want to start the show with that. I think that's the biggest talking point after last night's game. Matt Waldron probably pitched his last game in a Padres uniform. We'll see. We'll see what the moves are that the Padres make for this weekend. Lucas Giolito has to be activated by Saturday. We'll talk about some of these decisions that need to be made this week when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, Standings Urban Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. The NFL offseason has entered the dangerous phase for contenders. Everybody looks good on paper right now, but if you look closer, there's cracks everywhere. Chiefs still don't fully trust their wide receivers. The Bills have offensive line concerns. The Bengals have almost no receiver depth behind Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Dolphins have major questions at safety. And the Browns, well, they still don't have a franchise quarterback. That's the biggest NFL story right now. Depth matters more than ever. And the teams still playing in January aren't just talented. They survive injuries. The Eagles, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, those teams can lose starters and keep winning. Meanwhile, a lot of NFL teams are basically saying our quarterback will figure it out. And maybe that works in September, but every postseason we learn the same lesson. The most complete roster usually wins the Super Bowl. The NFL offseason isn't just about who teams added. It's about what teams still haven't fixed their free agency and the draft. And that's where things get interesting right now across the league. A ton of playoff contenders still have major roster questions going into minicaps and training camp. And the biggest themes around the league right now are the AFC is loaded with contenders and still have offensive line concerns. Several Super Bowl hopefuls desperately need wide receiver depth. Veteran free agents like Joey Bosa, Hassan Reddick, Deebo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, and others are still floating out there waiting for the right fit. And teams are now entering the plug the last hole phase of the offseason. Here are some quick hitters around the league as we bring in Frank. There's a lot of teams that still need players that fit major holes. And these are a lot of teams that are trying to contend for a Super Bowl next year that have a lot of expectations, starting with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, the Bills may have a Super Bowl roster except at left guard. That sounds small, but interior offensive line issues destroy playoff runs. Josh Allen can mask problems, but Buffalo still feels like they're one lineman short of being a genuine contender.
And that's big for them because they have been a team that has not been able to run the ball all that well, aside from Josh Allen. Last year was a little bit better. The Bills have really just been Allen or bust for most of their offense. I mean, they didn't spend the money on the receivers. The receivers continue to be like middle tier wideouts. They don't have that go-to receiver. They brought in Stephon Diggs a couple of years ago, but he was already past being a number one, if you will. And then they went out and made the move with Chicago to bring in a receiver. Again, that's not a number one receiver. And on top of that, you need to be able to protect your best asset, which is Josh Allen. They can't do that with the offensive line that they have. They're going to have to improve that spot. And I think improve the receiver spot as well if the Bills are ever going to get to the Super Bowl. Miami, their safety room is a little shaky. They're relying on veterans and young players with very little proven production in a division with Josh Allen and Drake May. That's very dangerous. Drake May. Kansas City Chiefs still don't fully trust the receiver room. Outside of Rashee Rice, there are questions everywhere. Patrick Mahomes covered up a lot last year, but this offense hasn't looked dominant recently. And the Steelers, everyone assumes Aaron Rodgers is coming, but even if he does, what happens if one receiver gets hurt? Pittsburgh's depth at wide receiver is thin behind DK Metcalf and company. So for Miami, the secondary is not looking good. Kansas City needs a receiver. Pittsburgh needs receivers. There's a lot of teams out there in the AFC that need some extra production out of their skill players.
Yeah, we're going to stick with the AFC as well. Actually, going to stick in the AFC North. The Cincinnati Bengals are terrifying until one receiver goes down. Their depth behind Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is extremely questionable, and that's a risky setup for a team trying to survive in the AFC gauntlet. And again, the Cleveland Browns still do not have a franchise quarterback. That's the story. Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Deshaun Watson, none of those options inspire any sort of confidence. And Cleveland feels like a team that's once again waiting for next year's draft.
Let's talk about the NFC a little bit with the Dallas Cowboys. They have names at edge rusher, but not certainty. They have injuries, inconsistent production, and rookies that create a huge boomer bust situation for that defense, a defense that was not very good last year that obviously needs to improve. Eagles, who are the defending champs from a couple of years ago, safety is suddenly a concern. And that's how hard that's how hard it is to repeat in the NFL. Even elite rosters have cracks. Vikings, Justin Jefferson is elite. Jordan Addison is excellent. But after that, almost nothing proven at receiver depth. And that's why veteran receiver rumors keep circling Minnesota, on top of the fact that they have a quarterback battle between Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy. I mean, who's going to get these guys the ball at this particular time as well? And then you look at Seattle, their pass rush depth is very thin, and that matters because their entire defensive system depends on rotating edge rushers. They've already added Dante Fowler Jr., but they may not be done. The biggest takeaway of this entire segment about the NFL has become a depth league. Everybody talks quarterbacks, but injuries decide seasons now more than ever. And look at the teams that are alive almost every January. Philly, Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. Those teams survive because their depth holds up when injuries hit. 24 on a Wednesday here in America's finest city. This is we have a little bit of this is like a mini Friday for us. One of two Friday shows this week. Is our other Friday show a Monday show too?
Oh, God. Sure, I guess.
We'll have two games to break down on Friday's show. We're off tomorrow because we have Padres baseball in the morning.
2 games to break down and 3 to preview.
What a day. All of it. Anyway, so we'll be off tomorrow with the Padres the Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show starting at 9:40, right? 9:40 tomorrow. No Epic Padres roundtable presented by Epic Wings tomorrow either. Due to Padres games.
Tell me what wingy.
Well, it is a Wednesday.
It is a wingy Wednesday.
They have any Wing Wednesday deals?
I don't know. That should be something we could ask tomorrow at the rant. Oh, wait a minute. Adam, email, please.
Oh, here it is. Wow. It's Tuesdays. Come on, man.
What?
On Tuesdays, kids eat free at Epic Wings. What a missed opportunity.
It's a wingy Wednesday, guys. Come on. It's Taco Tuesday, wingy Wednesday.
Right.
Come on.
It's all right. I'll miss my chicken fries until next week. I do like their little pizza thing. It's not bad. It's not really pizza. They know it's not pizza, but they have their, what's it called? I think they call it the pizza, if I'm not mistaken. Sticks, sides, salads, sweets. Oh, where's the bread stuff?
Speaking of food, I've just seen something posted by the city of Goodyear, Arizona. Coming soon to Goodyear, Arizona, which would be great for next year at spring training when I go to Phoenix. A Bucky's.
Yeah, I think I saw
Opening soon. Opening June 22nd in Goodyear.
Yeah. Somebody told me that Arizona is finally getting a Bucky's.
Yes.
My
After the race in Phoenix, I will give you a full report from Bucky's.
Well, I will say this. My sister's moving back, which is great. She's going to have to drive back at some point. I was thinking about helping out with the drive just to hit up a couple Bucky's on the way home. Imagine the content.
I've already got the gas pump water bottle. I don't need that.
I could probably get a lot. I don't know. I'd bring a cooler out there just to pack Bucky's. And then I would just drive straight to make sure I made it home in time. Anyway, let's talk about the pitching rotation a little bit for the Pods. Big decision coming up for the Padres when it comes to they have to add Lucas Giolito onto the roster by Saturday. So let's take a little bit of a look at what Matt Waldron did yesterday against the Brewers. He went 2 2/3 innings, 6 earned runs, 8 hits. One of them was a long ball. By the way, I'd have to double check this. Did you see that stat? I don't know if it's.
You sent it to me. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if that's 100% accurate or not. I'd have to double check. But Matt Waldron, he gave up another home run. I mean, he has given up a home run. I mean, this year he's given up a home run in every outing. So you're already off to a pretty close start to that being done. That's 5 straight games, at least a home run. You go back to 2025, he gave up a home run in the one start. You go back to 2024, so that's up to 6. I guess it was right. He gave up 2 home runs, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. He has given up a home run in every start since June 30th, 2024, except for 1. So you can talk about the 13 straight. He's given up a home run in 13 of his last 13 games that he's played, which, by the way, is a Padres record. He has given up a home run in 15 of the last 16 games he played. 16 of the last 17. Hang on. He's given up home runs in 18 of his last 20 outings in a Padres uniform. At least 1 home run. And if you factor in the 2 home runs that he gave up, 2 home runs, he is giving up he's given up more than a home run a game per outing. I mean, we talk about Germán Marquez gives up a lot of home runs. I mean, Matt Waldron's given up a home run in 13 straight appearances for the Padres, 13 straight games for the Padres, and 18 out of the last 20 games pitching for the Padres. He's given up a home run.
I mean, that comes with the territory with a knuckleball. because there's going to come a point where it comes out of your hand wrong. It starts to barrel roll, and it just becomes a BP fastball. So you kind of expect that with a knuckleball. But he only threw 7 last night. So, I mean, that is a little.
One of them went over the fence. That home run he gave up was on a knuckleball.
Oh, good.
He
Perfect.
tagged that.
Even better.
You watched the replay out of his hands. That thing was knuckling. I mean, going into last night's game, did you see the average he had? Opponent's average he had on the knuckleball? Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Opponents are hitting 320 against his knuckleball. I mean, there's no wonder he's using it less. I mean, we talked about the fact that it's something he should have embraced, but he didn't embrace it.
No, it's a specialized pitch.
Right.
It's not a tertiary pitch. If you're going to put in the effort of having a knuckleball, you need to know everything about that pitch. It's not a slider that you can throw in once every 3 innings. You have to, because that is a pitch where if you get it wrong, it's going a mile. If you misplace a fastball or if you let a fastball slip, there's a chance they're going to miss it. There's no shot you're missing a knuckleball that's tumbling that you can see from a mile away.
Especially if it's not moving as much as you would like it to move.
Exactly.
Here's his overall numbers from yesterday before we dive into the conversation about the rotation. He had 5 whiffs yesterday. That's not a lot. On the 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 8 hits that I mentioned, the 6 earned runs, 2 2/3 innings pitched for Waldron. 25% on the called strike whiff rate and 59 pitches. Extremely short, ugly box score outing. I mean, he got shelled early and was pulled quickly. They probably could have pulled him earlier in that inning if they really just wanted to, get out. What did Mike Schilt used to say? Go get a win, or go get after the win, or something like that. That's not a day. That's not a day that you try to go get the win or something like that. His stuff got rated a D, lowest raw stuff grade we've seen all year from Matt Waldron. His locations were solid overall. He got a B location totally, an A location against lefties. His overall metric grade that the pitching list PLV Twitter account gave him was a B minus, still above average underlying pitch value, but primary fastball was the cutter, 88.5 miles an hour. It had modest movement on it. Location by side, he had an A grade pitch against lefties. 44% of his pitches able to locate to lefties. Hit an F grade against righties in terms of location. Scattered, middle, up, and that's where the damage happened for Matt Waldron. Pitch usage, notable shifts first the season. Heavy sinker against righties yesterday, 47% of the time. Cutter still was the lead against left-handed pitching. Knuckleball usage down to 12%. He threw 7 knuckleballs yesterday, and I mean, it generated some whiffs, but one of them ended up over the fence. Cutter was average, not dominant. 4-seam fastball had the most called strike whiff rate at 38%. He only threw it 8 times. Sweeper threw 9 times. Looked pretty good. The sinker was probably his best pitch, but overall, he had better underlying metrics than the overall results. But at this point, at this time, how many was that? His 5th start, or this outing because he didn't get the start.
His 5th outing. He's got 3 starts.
So you've given him 5 opportunities. What was the? I remember at the beginning part before he got 2 outings, and I already was ready to move on.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you got to give him 5 outings. You gave the other guy 5. Well, we've gotten him 5 outings now.
5.
Okay. His ERA is a 9.28. It's not gonna get done here.
That, and also he's thrown 21 1/3 innings. That is the least amount of any starter on this roster, except for Griffin Canning, who's thrown 9 1/3, and Nick Pivetta, who's thrown 16. Nick Pivetta also hasn't pitched since the middle of April. He has given up the most earned runs out of any pitcher.
And he has thrown the least amount of innings.
And he's thrown the least amount of innings.
That's all you really need to know. So maybe the decision becomes a little bit easier when they have to make one, and they have to make one later this week. Let's talk about that rotation and the decision that needs to be made when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. Saturday Summer Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. The NHL just had one of its wildest weeks of the season. The Toronto Maple Leafs won the 2026 NHL Draft Lottery and now could land a superstar prospect in Gavin McKenna with the number 1 overall pick. Meanwhile, San Jose Sharks grabbed the number 2 pick and continue building one of the best young cores in hockey with Macklin Celebrini already leading the future. In the playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes are headed to the conference finals, while the Colorado Avalanche and Minnesota Wild are locked in an all-out war. Nathan McKinnon is putting up historic playoff numbers, but Kirill Kaprizov and the Wild just punched back with a dominant Game 3 win. And don't look now, but the Montreal Canadiens and Anaheim Ducks are suddenly making serious noise in the postseason. Young stars are taking over the NHL, and the future of hockey has officially arrived. We got huge draft lottery drama, playoff chaos, breakout stars taking over the postseason, and debate brewing around who could become the next face of the league. Toronto Maple Leafs officially won the 2026 NHL Draft Lottery. Carolina Hurricanes are already heading to the conference finals, and the Colorado Avalanche and Minnesota Wild are in the middle of one of the nastiest playoff battles we've seen all spring. Maple Leafs won the draft lottery. What could we take away from this?
Yeah, the biggest headline of the week, off the ice at least, the Toronto Maple Leafs landed the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NHL draft, despite having just an 8.5% chance to do so in the lottery. That's now the 3rd time in franchise history Toronto owns the top pick, and fans immediately started about dreaming the possibility of Gavin McKenna out of Penn State coming to Toronto. McKenna is viewed by many scouts as a franchise-changing talent, elite puck control, elite vision, dangerous release, basically the kind of player that teams build around for the next decade. He put up 51 points in 35 games as a freshman and dominated at every level before that. Now, the interesting part of this is the timing, is Toronto just hired John Chayka as their new general manager with senior advisor Matt Sundin, and immediately they inherit one of the biggest draft decisions in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, and here's the big discussion point about this. Do the Maple Leafs automatically take McKenna, or do they entertain moving the pick for multiple assets to speed up the rebuild? Because this draft class is kind of loaded. You've got Swedish forward in Ivor Stenberg rising fast, plus a stacked class of defensemen, including Chase Reed, Carson Carrolls, and Daxon Rudolph. But if you ask me, when you have a chance to draft a potential superstar centerpiece, you do not overthink it. That's how franchises change overnight. Always draft best available, Frank. Every sport. It works out better if you do that.
Especially when you have the number 1 pick.
Correct.
And no one can take anyone else. The team behind them, though, the San Jose Sharks, they grabbed the number 2 pick, and somehow this team keeps finding itself near the top of the draft. Over the last 4 years, they've landed elite young talent, including Will Smith, Macklin Celebrini, and Michael Misa. They now add another premium prospect. And honestly, San Jose may quietly be building one of the scariest young cores in the NHL. As general manager Mike Greer even hinted that he could consider trading the pick, which would immediately become one of the biggest offseason storylines in the NHL.
Yeah, if they stay at 2, they could land Stenberg or one of these franchise caliber defensemen. But with Celebrini already looking like the future a superstar, Sharks rebuild suddenly feels ahead of schedule as they try to compete with the 2 other California the other California teams that have made the playoffs, and one still alive in the playoffs. And let's transition into the Stanley Cup playoffs, because you have chaos everywhere. This postseason has been absolutely insane. Carolina has officially clinched their spot into the Eastern Conference Final. They're the first team into the conference finals, continuing one of the most complete playoff runs in hockey. Meanwhile, the series everybody is watching right now is Colorado and Minnesota. Colorado leads the series 2-1, but Minnesota responded Game 3 with a dominant 5-1 win, and the Wild are suddenly getting offense from everywhere, especially their defensemen.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber each already have 4 goals this postseason, helping Minnesota set a franchise record from the blue line. But the biggest name in this series is still Nathan McKinnon, who is scoring at a historic pace. He already has 60 career playoff goals and is reaching milestones faster than almost anyone in NHL history, not named Gretzky or Lemieux. On the other side, Kirill Kaprizov continued to build on his performance this postseason with another 3-point night in Game 3. Colorado leading the series 2-1. This series feels like it's going to go all 7, and honestly, as Western Conference Classic written all over it.
And speaking of the Western Conference, and, well, a couple of other series out there that are starting to shake some things up. It's the Canadiens in the Eastern Conference and the Anaheim Ducks in the Western Conference. Two younger teams that have also made statements over the weekend. Montreal crushed Buffalo 6-2 behind goals from Cole Caulfield and Slifkowski, as well as Kirby Dach. The Bell Center was electric, and suddenly Montreal has all the momentum in that series. And out west, Anaheim tied their series with the Vegas Golden Knights at 2 games apiece after a huge 4-3 win at the Honda Center. Ducks team is young, they are fast, they are fearless, and maybe ahead of schedule. That building in Anaheim is looking a lot like looked like playoff. Broadcasting live at the Bill House Studios, we know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show. Standing over on Sports Station 97 through the Fan. All of our guests join us on the SDCCU Fan Hotline. It's not Big Bank Banking. It's better. All right, let's talk about the main topic today in terms of, and honestly, this would have been a more difficult conversation, Frank, if Matt Waldron went out there and shoved for another day in a row.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
But the conversation now is, what does the rotation look like with Giolito having to be on the team by Saturday? You have to make the move. Now, I said it yesterday because Adam asked the question off air yesterday. Thanks for listening. We've had this conversation multiple times. Every time we've kicked the can down the road because the Padres have been in a luxury spot, have had the luxury to do that. We knew a day like this week was happening. A day like one of the days this week. I don't know what day it's going to be. Maybe they wait to the last minute to get to Saturday to make this move. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a move to bring a bullpen piece up that has options for a couple of days just to replenish the arms until Saturday because you don't have Giolito ready to go.
You've already done it with Alec Jacobs, so they've already used one of his options. He has pitched a game in the majors and then got sent down. I would not be surprised if you want to keep him on somewhat of a 5-day schedule, that Giolito, who pitched Monday, Tuesday, if he pitches at some point this weekend against Seattle.
Well, I think Giolito's going to pitch like Saturday or Sunday.
Probably, yeah.
But at this point, you're not going to use Waldron.
I'd probably bring up Alec Jacobs.
You got to bring somebody up that's already, and again, the options are just one per the year now.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to burn him another one. So you could bring up an Alec Jacob. You could bring up a David Morgan. I mean, he's used one of his options, right? And he had 2. So you could, any of those guys that had options that you already had up here, you could bring up for an extra arm, especially since you used 3 bullpen arms yesterday. And you're going to need the bullpen to be fresh. So I think that will be interesting coming up this week. So you could technically do that. But the mainstay is Giolito needs to be added to this team by Saturday. Now, he doesn't need to be added to the 40-man roster. He's already on the 40-man roster. They added him when they signed him on the 40-man roster. But when you look at the rotation, like Michael King's at the top, Randy Vasquez is 2. Griffin Canning, I don't necessarily know if he's going to be your number 3 or not. I guess it's going to be between him and Lucas Giolito for the 3-4, which you're a little shaky about because Canning had a really good first start, second start. I think he got some bad defense behind him, but we'll see what Giolito's got up his sleeve. And Giolito's coming off of a pretty decent season last year, if I'm not mistaken, after missing the year before due to injury. But they have to make some type of move. And if you look at the bullpen, here's the question what makes it a little bit more difficult. Because again, yesterday I said it's Waldron. He's just the odd man out. Because I don't think you're going to keep him over Walker Buehler based on what Walker Buehler has done. And Edmond Marquez is on the IL. Plus, you gave him a lot more money to be on this team than you did a guy like Matt Waldron, who has now been part of the organization for 6 years. I mean, Matt Waldron joined this organization at the trade deadline of 2020. It's 2026. At this point, you know what Matt Waldron is. And in the last couple of years, he is showing more and more that he is the pitcher of the second half of 2024 more than he was the first half of 2024. So you add Lucas Giolito to this team. The only argument against potentially putting Matt Waldron through waivers is what happens if somebody else goes down. Now you don't potentially have a guy like Matt Waldron to fill in because you need as many starting arms as possible. I get that logic, but at this point, I think I'm more willing to give a guy like Jackson Wolf, or I know this is going to upset Padres fans because they didn't like the way he's pitched for the Padres, JP Sears, or anybody, or Marco Gonzalez, or any of those other guys, or Tristan McKenzie. I would much rather see what they got and figure it out if somebody got hurt than, let's try to move a bullpen arm off, which I don't think you can even do. Let's say you go with the philosophy of, okay, we're going to need Matt Waldron later in the year, and we think he's going to get picked off waivers, and we're going to try to keep him part of the organization. I'm not saying that's what I would do. Let's just for case and argument here. And you want to move somebody to the bullpen to be a long relief guy, or you want to carry 6 starting pitchers. Fine. Let's just entertain this for a second. Your bullpen, Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, Ron Marinaccio, Yuki Matsui, Mason Miller, Adrian Morejon, Wandy Peralta, Bradley Rodriguez. You can eliminate Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta because you are not going to pay those guys all this money who have sub-3 ERAs right now, and I know it's a small sample size for Yuki Matsui, to just save a roster spot for Matt Waldron. So you can knock those guys off the list. It ain't going to be Mason Miller. It ain't going to be Jason Adam. It ain't going to be Jeremiah Estrada. And it's not going to be Adrian Morejon. Knock those guys off the list. You're not going to potentially move them to keep Matt Waldron on the roster. Here's your last options. Bradley Rodriguez, who's got options, or you DFA Ron Marinaccio. I don't want to do either of those things, to be honest with you. So even if Matt, this is the case that made this decision, he's the odd man out. Even if Matt Waldron yesterday went 5 innings and allowed 2 runs and the Padres won, I still think you had to make this decision by the end of the week, regardless of how Matt Waldron was going to pitch, because unfortunately, he's the odd man out in this situation.
And Waldron's the only other guy that you have to have somewhat of an extreme circumstance for. He's the only one that you're using an opener. Jason Adam and Adrian Morejon are not. They have no options. Service time has rendered that useless. Estrada, I believe, still has an option because he went on the IL instead of getting sent down, and he's looked fine.
He does have an option.
He's looked fine since then. Yuki Matsui and Wandy Peralta, you're not going to pay those guys north of $3 million to keep Matt Waldron in the organization. North
of 3, you got to pay them for the remaining years too. I mean, I know north of 8. You're going to have to pay them $8 million to go away
to keep Matt Waldron
correct
on the team. And Bradley Rodriguez and Ron Marinaccio have done nothing to warrant them getting sent down. They have been serviceable pieces. And yes, Marinaccio's ERA, I'm sure, is a little high. Let me see what it is, actually.
It is a decent, it's up there a little bit.
It's a 4.37 ERA, but he's also one of those guys who you throw in and has just wear it innings. He has had games where he has just been forced to throw until his arm falls off, and whatever happens, happens. So Waldron's really the only guy, and with the way he's pitched this year, again, looking at his numbers this year, 5 games, 3 starts, he's 1-2 with a 9.28 ERA, 21 1/3 innings, 22 runs given up, 32 hits, 18 strikeouts, 7 walks. As you said, he's allowed a home run in 18 of his last 20 outings. No one's picking that up.
I don't think anybody's going to pick him up.
He will be in El Paso, Chihuahua in a week.
I think so too. I think there might be a chance because he's a starting pitcher and teams think they can fix guys and they think there might be a chance that maybe I'm just looking at the standings. It's not going to be the Mets, right? It's not going to be the Phillies. It's not going to be like I just immediately think like the Marlins might take a chance on him, but then even then, like they got young pitchers that they have.
They just
DFA'd Chris Paddock. It's not like I don't see any team that is that desperate that's going to pick the Angels. Are the Angels going to pick him up?
It has happened where guys who throw a knuckleball have bloomed late. R.A. Dickey won a Cy Young Award and 20 wins, a 20-game winner at the back end of his career because he really harnessed that knuckleball. So it can happen. He can turn around, but he needs to have a full philosophy change on what he is as a starting pitcher because he wants to be known now as a pitcher with a knuckleball instead of a knuckleball pitcher. If he changes his philosophy to being a pure knuckleball pitcher, then yeah, he has a better chance of coming out of this and actually being decent if he really tries to harness that knuckleball. But until he makes that commitment to himself and to his craft, he's going to be where he is right now.
I don't see the Giants picking him up. A knuckleball doesn't play at Coors Field. I don't see the Rockies picking him up. I don't see the Diamondbacks picking him up. I don't think anybody in the National League West picks him up. I'd be really shocked. If I had to pick a team, it'd be somebody in the American League that's just willing to take a chance on pitching. But like, the Tigers are desperate for starting pitching right now because everybody's hurt. But if they pick him up, he's just a stopgap until their starting pitching comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to get DFA'd there. And then you can probably pick him up then. I mean, the Padres traded away. Like, the guy that's probably going to come up next, because the whole case and argument of why you wouldn't DFA, because you have to DFA Matt Waldron at this point, because he's out of options, whatever. But you can't, if you decide the reason why you wouldn't want to DFA Matt Waldron is because you want starting pitching. If somebody else goes down, somebody has to fill in. The guy that's going to do it right now is probably Jackson Wolf. Jackson Wolf in AAA, he's made 5 starts in 10 games, and maybe they've used him a little bit more out of the bullpen than a starter. But he has 32 strikeouts to 11 walks. He's got the most strikeouts on the El Paso Chihuahuas in his 29 innings pitched. He's probably the guy that gets pulled up. Now, on top of that, Padres, this is Jackson Wolf's second stint with the Padres. Remember, he was traded to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I think that was right after he made a couple starts.
He made
too,
one
because people
start.
were
He made
injured.
He made one outing for the Padres because he played at West Virginia. He made one outing for the Padres. Looked pretty good. He got traded to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh DFA'd him, and the Padres picked him back up. I mean, I really don't think, with his knuckleball and everything, I don't think Matt Waldron is super valuable where you really have to sweat it out, him going to another team. And on top of that, I don't necessarily think he is just this much better than throwing Wolf out there or J.P. Sears or Tristan McKenzie or Marco Gonzalez or any other players that are down in AAA battling for an opportunity to go to make this major league club and give them some innings. I don't think that's the case. So I think it's inevitable at this point. I mean, you heard it out of Matt Waldron yesterday, which obviously is sad, but at the same time, he's not cutting it for the team right now.
No,
and he's had multiple years to try to do that.
He's a nice guy. He's soft-spoken. I hate it for him, but this is what has to be done. He is the guy who is most likely to do it. And again, just because he gets DFA'd does not mean he's not on this team. Doesn't mean he's guaranteed. Now they can, if he does clear through waivers, they can send him to free agency.
They could just outright release him.
Yeah, they could just outright release him.
If that's the case, then the Padres are they're done.
I would not be surprised if he's pitching in El Paso next week.
I think he's probably in El Paso. We'll see what happens. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Time might have been run out for Matt Waldron, but Padres get some offensive help. We'll explain. 11 o'clock. I think that's an interesting talking point as we start the next hour. We're going to talk about the Padres offense in a second. But I think a lot of people, because the question yesterday was that Adam posed to us off the air was, well, you're going to need the pitching. And I was like, you have other guys in the minor leagues that can come up and help you. They're not prospects, but they can help you. Did everybody forget about the guys that we just listed? I think a lot of people just thought they got cut and they're elsewhere. But the Padres, go look at El Paso's roster. Now, are they all kicking ass right now? No. But if you look at the AAA roster for the San Diego Padres, the El Paso Chihuahuas, there are guys on there. Now, some of them you need to make decisions on too, because they can opt out, some of those guys, due to service time. But you start looking at the pitchers down there. Marco Gonzalez, still part of the active roster for the El Paso Chihuahuas. Kyle Hart's down there. I mean, I know Kyle Hart's been in the bullpen. He could go out there and give you some innings if you needed a starting pitcher. You know who else is down there? Tristan McKenzie. He's down there. JP Sears is down there. Jackson Wolf is down there. I mean, you have options to really test out to see what you got if you need somebody in a pinch. It's not like Matt Waldron was the only guy that you had available. And I'll say this too as we kind of put the bow on this one. But why does Matt Waldron, and look, I get it, he's a nice guy. I don't want to crush Matt Waldron. He's just right now he is not the type of pitcher, the way he is pitching, that's going to help a team that is currently in first place. Okay? It's a disclaimer before I say this next thing. Why does Matt Waldron need to keep getting opportunities to show that he's not the pitcher that he's been for his last 18 starts? Compared to a guy that I know you gave DeVries up for Mason Miller, but you asked for JP Sears because he was controllable and it was a starting pitcher. I feel like JP Sears probably deserves more opportunities than a guy like Matt Waldron. I'm not saying he's going to be better. I'm not saying he's a better pitcher than Matt Waldron. I know he hasn't been great in a Padres uniform, but in terms of the investment, Frank, that you have put into these players, you have given Matt Waldron 6 years in the organization. He was in the Mike Clevenger deal. You have given him 6 years in this organization. JP Sears hasn't even been in the organization for a year yet, and he's under control for the next 4 years, and he has options available. I feel like just from that perspective, and I'm not saying he's the first guy you're going to pull up, if you're in a pinch and you need somebody to pitch, I feel like JP Sears deserves probably a little bit more opportunity based on the investment you have put into him.
Yeah, Waldron has had his time, and Go Essex, I understand that is definitely a part of it. People are fascinated by the knuckleball. But if he's not throwing the knuckleball, then what is Matt Waldron right now? He's just another quadruple A, triple A pitcher at this point. So I think there are better options down in the minor leagues than JP Sears. But as you said, with the investment that you put in, and you're getting return on that investment with Mason Miller for sure. It's not like Mason Miller has been a miss, but with the investment that you put in that trade with Lasso Clemento, it does kind of bump JP Sears up the ladder a little bit as far as who comes up.
And to be honest, I mean, this is a team that's got a lot of veterans. We've talked about that. I think the veterans are a big reason why they are winning close games and they're getting the situational hitting. You have veterans in AAA. Marco Gonzalez is a proven veteran in Major League Baseball he could probably go give you some innings. Is it going to be great? No, but what you are going to be asking for if a pitcher goes down, what you're going to be asking for when you need extra pitching to make it to the year is you are asking for a guy to go out there and be a number 5 starter. And right now, that threshold is going 5 innings, 4 runs or less, or 5 innings, 3 runs or less. That's what your goal is. And right now, it's not like Matt Waldron was doing that every single time. He did it a couple times, great, but you need him to be a little bit more consistent than that. And it's more, I think it's more than just like he's keeping you in the game. What does that even mean? Keeping you in the game. That means a lot of different things for a lot of different teams because of the way their offense plays. I mean, right now, is giving up 6 runs and being somewhat in striking distance for this Padres offense, is that keeping them in the game? I mean, the way the Padres are hitting right now, giving up 6 runs is not keeping you in the baseball game. It's really not. I mean, I know it's right there. Look, we got the tying run to the plate. Oh, great. Until the offense starts hitting, that's not really keeping you in the game, Frank.
And that's a lot of work to have to come up to get back to that point to where you're still in the game, especially when your bullpen yesterday, 5 1/3 innings. Where did I put it? Right there. 5 1/3 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks.
Bullpen was outstanding. And who did you use in the bullpen?
Used Bradley Rodriguez for 1, Wandy Peralta for 2 1/3, and Yuki Matsui for 2.
Everybody's favorite relievers. By the way, every time that those guys are used and they give up runs, how come I always got to get a text about how bad Craig Stammen is for using the bullpen? I didn't hear anything about how great he was yesterday bringing those guys in to save the bullpen. No text about that? Nobody wants to give the guy his flowers? Nobody wants to give Wandy Peralta his flowers or Yuki Matsui? I mean, come on, guys. Every time those guys go in and do a good job, nobody says anything. Every time those guys go in and give up like 1 run, it's the end of the world. This guy sucks. I mean, it's a major league bullpen arm. These guys are going to give up like, a 4 ERA, relatively 3 to 4 ERA. That's kind of what the mop-up bullpen guys are.
Yeah, they were both in wear-it situations yesterday, and they not only wore it, they put it on and strut with it.
Peralta's got 2.66 ERA. I'm not even a big Wandy Peralta fan. Like in terms, seems like a cool guy. Don't mind that, but 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Hey, thank you, Wandy. Appreciate it. That's what Wandy Peralta's on his team to do. Is that an expensive arm to do that? Yeah, but when you brought those guys in, they were expected to be your back end of your bullpen, and you replaced them with cheaper guys that are your back end of the bullpen. So it all relatively balances itself out.
Yuki Matsui was supposed to be your closer. Your closer.
So the Padres are paying top dollar for the mop-up guys and paying league minimum for their back end of the bullpen. It's great. It works out. It works out. They're getting the job done. But the only reason why, and we're going to end this conversation because I think most people are in agreement with us, the only reason why you would keep Matt Waldron is because you need to have a starting pitcher later in the season that can help you out if things go awry or if injuries happen. I gave you 4 options. I don't think these are crazy options either, Frank. Oh, you need a starter? Here's Marco Gonzalez. Oh, you need a starter? Here's Tristan McKenzie. Oh, you need a starter? Here's JP Sears. Oh, you need a starter? Here's Jackson Wolf. You're really desperate? Oh, here's Kyle Hart. These guys all have major league experience starting games. Like you have the options there. So I don't think Matt Waldron is so much better than those 5 that you're willing to DFA Ron Marinaccio. I don't think Matt Waldron is better than those 5 where you're willing to eat a bunch of money to get rid of Wandy Peralta or a Yuki Matsui. I think the case is closed on this. What do you think?
Yeah, and the most telling thing is after last night, he knows it.
He does.
He knows it's over.
He knows he didn't pitch to the level he needed to stay part of this organization.
Kevin Acee said it last night. Here it is. This is a quote from Kevin Acee. Safe to say my ERA and my numbers aren't too attractive right now, and I have no options. So, yeah, that's where I'll leave it. That was from Waldron last night. He knows. He knows he's going. He knows he has job uncertainty for the next week, and then is most likely going to El Paso.
I don't think anyone's picking. Well, let me ask you this question, because I asked this question off air. Did Chris Paddock get picked up by anybody?
Let me actually see.
Like, is he on a major league roster right now? Reds signed him. Cincinnati signed Chris Paddock. Found it. That was May 13th. They literally did it today. They did it today. They literally did it a couple hours ago. 1 year, $4 million contract with Miami. He got DFA'd by Miami. Signs with the Reds. And it's because their rotation is quite banged up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't imagine he's going to be on that major league team for very. I mean, the Reds are desperate. If you had to make a start, if you needed a start right now, and you're a team that was looking for pitching, and it was Matt Waldron or Chris Paddock, who are you going with? Let's ask from a Mets perspective. Who are you picking up?
I would probably pick up Paddock because you don't know, especially for this organization, you don't know how much he's changed from what he used to be. You know what Matt Waldron is now.
I'd pick up Paddock too. And I'm talking for any team. I mean, any team out there right now, if you had the option between Paddock to make one start for you or Matt Waldron, maybe you could play with the, Matt Waldron throws a knuckleball. So it's like preparing for a triple option team like Navy. And it's like, oh, this is like so much work. I'm still taking Chris Paddock. I am. So we'll see. I mean, maybe the Reds will pick up Matt Waldron. But it's taken Chris Paddock, a week to finally sign with somebody? And there's no guarantee he's going to be up. I mean, that's a team that is desperate for pitching right now. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case for Matt Waldron, but we'll see. All right. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Padres offense better, but not where it needs to be. We'll talk about the bright spots and where some of the areas of need are when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. San Diego C is getting closer, but they still can't quite get over the line. A 1-1 draw against Seattle. And honestly, this looked like a much better San Diego team than we have seen the last couple of weeks. More organized, more confident. And Marcus Invarksen keeps scoring goals. He's now got 8 goals this season after another beautiful finish against the Sounders. But once again, San Diego gives up a late equalizer. That's been the story of this season. And then came the heartbreaking moment in stoppage time. Anders Dreyer's shot gets saved. The rebound falls right to Invarksen, and he sends it over the bar. That was the win right there. The good news, this team looks alive again. The bad news, 10 matches without a win is still 10 matches without a win. Now the question becomes, are they finally turning the corner or just getting better at almost winning? Better, but still missing the finish. That is the recap of the game from over the weekend between San Diego FC and the Seattle Sounders. For the second straight match, San Diego FC shows signs of improvement. And for the second straight match, they walked away wondering what could have been.
Yeah, San Diego battled the Sounders to a 1-1 draw at Lumen Field up in Seattle, earning another point, but extending the club's winless streak to 10 matches now across all competitions. So while the panic level may be slightly cooling, the frustration is still very much real. And Saturday's game was very much about context. Because if this kind of loss comes to break a winning streak, or you've won 2 of your last 3 games, this doesn't matter. This is just a blip. It's another draw. It's a heartbreaker. Yeah, wish you would have had to win, but it's just another match. Now, in this context, though, this is a real heartbreaker, a real focal point now for San Diego FC, dropping another match in a very similar vein.
I think the panic level is starting to cool a little bit, but at the same time, the frustration is still very, very real. I mean, this is a very frustrating team to watch. I mean, especially at the beginning of the season when they looked almost unbeatable in the MLS and it did well in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. But now it's so beyond frustrating watching this team play night in and night out. And you have the good, right? Like Marcus Invarksen is on fire right now. If there's one player carrying this offense, It's Marcus Ingvartsen. And the Danish forward scored again in the 18th minute, his 8th MLS goal of the season, 4th in the last 5 league matches. And honestly, it's one of San Diego's best team goals in weeks. Captain Anibal Godoy started the buildup. Ani Valakari delivered a beautiful through ball, and Ingvartsen buried the finish calmly past Seattle goalkeeper and Andrew Thomas. And that attacking chemistry is starting to look dangerous again. But the same problems returned. They couldn't close it out.
Yeah, no. Goalkeeper Duran Ferry made a huge save in the 80th minute to preserve the lead, but seconds later, Danny Musovsky finally broke through for the equalizer for Seattle. Another late goal conceded, another match. San Diego FC leaves points on the table, and then the brutal ending came in stoppage time when Dreyer nearly won it with a left foot strike, but Thomas made the save, and the rebound fell right to Ingvartsen's foot, and he sent it high. So that was the moment right there where you're like, oh, God, it's going to continue now.
Well, what does this game mean? I mean, the team is clearly stabilizing compared to where it was a few weeks ago. I think that's good news. They've now earned points in back-to-back MLS matches, which, even though they're not wins, it's a lot better than what they were doing before, and not even earning points. Possession is starting to improve. The attack looks organized again. They're competing against quality teams on the road, but the results still aren't turning into wins. At some point, San Diego has to stop saying almost, because this league punishes teams that don't finish games or finish chances. And right now, that's what San Diego's doing. They're getting punished because they're not finishing these games. But the bigger picture here, the encouraging part, this no longer feels like a team collapsing.
No, and like I said, this is that in a different context, Saturday was just another game where, all right, we could have had that one, but, late goals like this happen. But when you put it in the context that it's in right now, this is just another in a long line of games and a long line of issues that this team has had. They're starting to look, every single time they go out there, they're starting to look more and more like normal, but now the results are not coming the way they were last year and even earlier this year.
San Diego now returns home for 3 straight matches at Snapdragon Stadium, beginning with Austin FC. This stretch feels huge for San Diego, because if San Diego wants to get its season back on track, it probably starts right now. $11:18. Broadcasting live at the Bill House Studios. We know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Padres got some offensive help yesterday. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Do want to get out to the phones, though. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Juan in Oceanside. He said yesterday he had thoughts on San Diego FC. I don't know if these are those thoughts. What's going on, Juan?
What's up, Braden? Not today. Just want to keep it kind of Padres focused today. I kind of want to ask you the question that the morning show was asking about Ethan Salas, and if he's kind of forced the question enough to potentially either send down for me or have a conversation about Campusano once he's healthy.
Well, we're going to get into the conversation about Ethan Salas in just a little bit. At this point in time with Ethan Salas, I think at this point, he has gone through, I'll phrase it this way. What is the big reason why, what's the reason to keep guys in the minor leagues?
More reps.
Reps, right? And what are they trying to teach guys in the minor leagues? Are they trying to teach them how to be good players? Are they trying to teach them how to catch? Are they trying to teach them how to hit the ball? What are the minor leagues for?
Game reps.
Game reps, yes, you're on the right track. They are used to teach guys how to fail and what they do after failing. That's what they're for. I mean, that's like when we do 7-on-7 over the summer. Since some of the people in the YouTube chat are those guys that play 7-on-7. 7-on-7 in the summer for us is to teach the kids how to fail. and see what they do and see how they respond to failure, because eventually you are going to fail. And you got to be able to overcome that failure. You got to be able to make that adjustment. So the biggest thing that you want to see, there's a couple of development things in there, of course, but the biggest thing you want to see for players in the minor leagues is failure and adversity. And what Ethan Salas has gone through already as a teenager, by the way, I mean, this guy should be in high school or just out of high school. I mean, at this point, with all of the holdbacks you have in high school, I mean, at 19 years old, it's not crazy that he should be in high school right now. This is at the very end of that. But he has been playing professional baseball since he was 16 years old. He's been playing with the Padres organization since he was 17 years old. And he has been in Double-A since he was 17 years old. And he has gone through, they have already thrown him to the wolves of go out there and try to compete at a high level. On Baseball Reference for the minor leagues, they have this age difference stat, which the age difference stat shows you the difference of the player's age to that of the weighted average of all players in the league that he plays in. Do you know what his age difference is for Double-A? Because this is his age 20 season. He's going to turn 20 this year. He is, by the way, he's been in Double-A. This is his third season in Double-A. Now, he hasn't played 3 full seasons in Double-A, obviously, because last year he didn't have a lot of time in Double-A. He played 9 games in Double-A in 2023. In 2024, he was in High A a little bit. He battled with some injuries. 2025, obviously, had the injury in Double-A. But he's 20 years old. He's in Double-A. He's hitting .314 with a .947 OPS through 29 games so far. Ethan Salas. Do you know what his age difference is? He is on average younger by everybody in Double-A by 4 years. Most Double-A players are like 24 years old. Again, the weighted average of all players in the league. About 24 years old. He's 20. So the biggest problem you would have, right? The biggest situation you would have with pulling up Ethan Salas is you're worried about what's the biggest worry, right? What's the biggest worry for major league teams in terms of bringing up guys too early? What's the biggest problem? You don't want to what?
You don't want to ruin them.
You don't want to ruin them. And what ruins them? Failure. And having their first sign of failure in the minor leagues. That's why they don't rush guys up to the major leagues so fast. So you have to have this guy have failure. And he has already experienced that failure and that adversity. So to me, I think it's not out of the ordinary. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, and it's not that crazy that he could be considered later in the year up to the big leagues because he's already in Double-A. It's like he's jumping from High A, right? I mean, if he continues to hit like he's hitting, and it's a small sample size, we already know the glove work plays. And we've already seen this guy get reps with the MLB guys. The biggest concern you would have would be, quote, ruining him. And what ruins players at this level, guys that have never failed in the minor leagues, going up to the majors, failing for the first time, and never knowing what it's like to fail. Those are the guys that get ruined. We've already kind of seen that from Ethan Salas. So from that perspective, I'm not going to sit here and say he's ready to be your everyday starter. I'm not sitting here saying it's probably the greatest idea to maybe pull him up, but I think it's trending a lot more towards him getting pulled up sooner rather than later.
I wouldn't, honestly, me personally, I wouldn't bring him up this year at all. I would wait until he has a full season without injury. I want to see what he's able to do in the minor leagues over the full season. Now, it also depends on what you do with Luis Camposano going next year. if you're confident, if Salas keeps this up and performs very well and doesn't have an injury spell, he might make my opening day roster next year, depending upon what you want to do with Campy. So I would leave him down there. I would not even consider him as an option this year unless he's just doing otherworldly things with the bat and with his glove too. I want to see him have a full season. I want to see him go through the ebbs and flows of a season at one level, and then depending upon what happens, then he possibly makes my opening day roster next year.
The earliest I'd pull him up would be September call-ups of this year.
You're also going to have to select his contract too.
I know. That's I mean, at this point, like, you don't want to be the organization that constantly just holds guys back. And this is an organization that rushes guys up. I mean, you're going to see these guys get rushed. They've been rushed. This is how this organization operates. And the biggest thing to me that you want to see out of Ethan Salas is how does he handle adversity? And so far, he's handled it pretty well. Now, if he goes throughout the rest of the year, and his averages come back down, because again, he's only had 116 plate appearances this year, then there's no reason to bring him up. But if he continues to have just a monster year in Double-A, and the injuries and whatever, and who knows what your status is at the catching position, I'd rather see him than Rodolfo Duran on the big league club. If it became down to those two players.
If he's performing out of his mind and has kept that up the entire season, maybe gone like a 2 for 30 some odd deal and has been able to kick out of that, then yeah, I wouldn't consider it until September call-ups. But if he's just having a decent season like he's having right now, I wouldn't touch him, and I wouldn't consider it until starting next year.
If he hits 300 and has a 900 OPS, I think it's worth the conversation.
For sure. Yeah. That's
where I'm at. I just, and he's going to turn 20 this year, which is way too fast for usually a catcher. But this is the thing for catchers is they have to learn pitching staffs. And all the reports we get back about Ethan Salas, who we're going to talk about later on the show, is he's mature beyond his years. And he knows how to handle a pitching staff. And it's the defensive stuff that he's way ahead on. And that's what is usually the last thing you want with that's the thing that you have to develop the most as a catcher, are those qualities. And now the fact that he's hitting, I think is great. I would not trade this guy at all. Not at all. He's been part of your organization now this will be his 4th year part of the organization. I think you keep him part of this org. I mean, he is flying up the charts way fast. And this is a guy that plays a position that if he is elite, you do not want to give away.
Mm-hmm.
If he was a middle infielder, I think you could find other middle infielders. I don't think you could find catchers that can hit. And that's why it's promising so far. But it's still super early in the season. He's played 29 games for El Paso. Here's the other thing. I don't necessarily think that him being in AAA changes anything too much. I really don't.
The only thing you would think is he's getting closer to major league pitching. That's about it. But other than that,
a lot of the pitchers that these organizations pull up from are Double-A.
Yeah.
Because
I
the
agree.
PCL is just rough. I mean, I guess you'd see a lot more veterans. He could play with older guys. But other than that, I'd probably just let him rake in Double-A and get some confidence. But he's already gone through the process of the failure aspect of things, which I find interesting. So that's, I think, the biggest test for this kid is how does he handle failure? How does he overcome adversity? And once the Padres see what they want to see out of that, I think he's going to be up with the big league club. I really do. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's talk about the offense a little bit. We're going to start now and then finish it in the next segment. But last night, what was your bold take last night? I was close. I got one of the 2 home runs.
I'd rather not.
What was yours?
Come
on.
Waldron goes 5 and 2 runs.
He what?
Waldron goes 5 and 2 runs. Yeah.
That's not great.
No.
That's not great.
No.
But that's why it's a bold prediction. I said the Padres had hit 2 home runs. They got 1.
You got halfway there.
They should have hit, and they were close on others. Vermeer hit one to the track. Fernando hit one to the track. Manny hit one to the track. Yeah, you can't even play the close.
Nope.
Right. You got a comment in the YouTube chat. Radio hosts and fans unqualified to debate arbitrary call-up timelines. Let the real baseball people figure it out. We're just having a conversation, dude. That's what the whole point of sports talk radio is.
You know what? He's right. He's absolutely right. So at this point, we would both like to officially retire because there is no point to us and this medium anymore.
Oh,
Thank you for pointing out the error of our ways. I will now go work at McDonald's. Braden, what do you think you're going to do? Go back to Starbucks?
You're speaking for you and the mouse in your pocket. I don't even watch the Padres, remember?
You know what? That's true.
Exactly. Dexter in Spring Valley. You're on the Braden Surprenant show. What's going on, Dexter?
Okay, I want to hit on a handful of points, but I'll be brief. Number one, I think Jobu is very happy right now with the lower half of the batting order because they're producing like crazy. But the Stars need to appease Jobu. I think that'll help them a lot. Number two, with Waldron, very, very quickly. I think Waldron was doomed from the start because one of your former colleagues gave him a nickname before he even threw one pitch during the regular season. And he kept saying, and it was on your show that you were affiliated with, Waldron's Cauldron. So I think that he was already doomed from the start because he was jinxed or cursed. Number three, and this is with regards to Salas. A lot of old school fans like myself were comparing him to being potentially the second coming of Sandy Alomar Jr. as a catcher. Great defense, so bad. However, I am now of the belief, and a handful of other fans are too, that he might be the second coming of Benito Santiago. Great defense, and potentially has power in his bat. So, everything that you guys have been saying have been pretty spot on. But he's right in between. He's being compared to 2 really good former Padre catching prospects. So, it could be worse. And then finally, I am so surprised at you, Braden. You're an old school Padres fan. I'm surprised that when the Padres were playing in Mexico, neither you or anybody else at the station even referred to the legend of Ken Caminiti.
Ken Caminiti with the Snickers bar?
Yeah. Because I think that if someone would have mentioned that could have hopefully, hey, what if somebody gave Fernando a Snickers bar? Maybe his home run drought would have ended there. Just saying. So have a great afternoon, guys. Go Padres.
Thank you. Thank you, Dexter. Appreciate it. You know why I didn't bring up the Snickers bar thing? Because I heard that ad nauseum. The last time they went to Mexico City. It's like, remember the Ken Caminiti Snickers bar thing? And then what did they do? Walker Buehler threw like a no-hitter against them. That was 2 times ago down in Mexico. Wait, I think didn't Walker Buehler throw like a combined no-hitter like early in his career down in Mexico against the Padres? Remember that. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this Padres offense. Progress, but not enough last night. We'll explain why when we come back. Second round of the NBA playoffs, already pure chaos. Knicks just swept the 76ers in dominant fashion, dropping 144 points in Game 4 and tying a playoff record for threes made. They're not just winning, they look like a finals team. Out west, Oklahoma City's up 3-0 on the Lakers, and every game follows the same script. LA starts strong with turnovers and depth from OKC take over late. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves and Spurs are tied 2 apiece after a physical series swing involving a Wembanyama ejection over the weekend. And Detroit and Cleveland is a full-on battle with every game coming down to clutch plays. This isn't playoff. This playoffs isn't about who's the best team anymore. It's about who can survive the longest. Second round of the 2026 NBA playoffs already delivering high drama, tight series, and momentum swings that show just how unpredictable this postseason has become.
Yeah, we've got the Knicks completing a sweep of the Philadelphia 76ers, the Pistons and Cavaliers locked in a physical battle, and the T-Wolves and Spurs tied 2-2 in a grinded-out series. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma City Thunder looking dominant again with a 3-0 series lead over the Lakers. So far, right now, nothing is safe, and no lead feels comfortable in the NBA. Of course, you're my Knicks.
Yeah, let's start in the East, where the Knicks made the clearest statement of any team in the playoffs. So as much as Frank likes to bitch about the Mets, the Knicks have been playing pretty well. I mean, they didn't just beat Philadelphia. They swept them, and they did it in a dominant fashion, capped off by a 144-point explosion in Game 4, where they tied a playoff record with 25 made threes. You could say it's NASCAR season all you want, but the Knicks just swept the Sixers, baby. They're right there, ready to go, looking like a finals team.
We got one orange and blue team in New York that's at least somewhat competent. This isn't just hot shooting anymore. It's a fully clicking system. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns are leading the way, but the real story is how balanced and disciplined this Knicks team looks on both ends. They're no longer a contender. They're looking like a finals level problem, which is something that they have not done since OJ went for a little drive.
Meanwhile, Pistons Cavs series is the opposite. It's a grind. Detroit leads 2-1, but Cleveland responded in Game 3 behind a big clutch finish by James Harden and another strong scoring night from Donovan Mitchell. Cade Cunningham continues to push Detroit forward with all-around production, but every game feels like a fight down to the final possession. Game 4 becomes the turning point. Either Cleveland evens it, or Detroit puts real pressure on a young roster trying to prove it belongs.
Yeah, out west, the Oklahoma City Thunder continue to look like the most complete team in basketball as they now lead the Lakers 3-0. And every game has followed a similar pattern. LA keeps it close early, but turnovers and depth eventually become a problem, and it buries them. Even when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is contained, Oklahoma City's supporting cast steps up, especially Ajay Mitchell and Chet Holmgren. At this point, the question isn't if OKC is better, it's whether or not anyone can slow them down for 4 full quarters.
And I don't think anybody really can. I really don't. I mean, maybe San Antonio if they advance through, but
it's going to be the task of one of these next two teams.
But I don't think it's going to be. I really don't think it's going to happen. But Game 4, on the other side, the Spurs and Timberwolves are locked in at 2-2 in one of the most physical series of the playoffs. Game 4 flipped the tone of the series after Victor Wembanyama was ejected for an elbow that sent Naz Reid to the floor, changing the entire flow of the game. Minnesota capitalized late behind Anthony Edwards' 36-point performance. Series shifts back to San Antonio, tied, and Game 5 feels like a pressure moment for both sides, especially with Wembanyama expected to return, looking to respond physically and emotionally after getting ejected.
Yeah, right now across both conferences, a few clear themes have been emerging so far this postseason. First, turnovers and depth are still deciding games as they typically do in the NBA. Oklahoma City is punishing mistakes better than anyone. Meanwhile, teams like Detroit and Minnesota are surviving because of bench and role player production. Second, stars are still important, but consistency is everything. Brunson, Edwards, Mitchell, SGA are all producing, but the teams winning are the ones getting helped beyond that. And third, momentum very, very fragile. No series outside of Oklahoma City feels fully stable, even with leads.
Final takeaway as we move deeper into the second round, the gap between contenders and survivors is shrinking. Oklahoma City looks dominant. The Knicks look complete, but everywhere else, Detroit, Cleveland, San Antonio, Minnesota, even the Lakers, everything is still up for grabs. And if this postseason has shown anything so far, it's that no lead is safe and no series is finished early. 11:40 on a Wednesday. Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego Summer Sports Station 97.3. The Fan. Dodgers come to town on Monday through Wednesday of next week for a showdown of the top two teams in the National League West. Limited tickets are still available. Don't let Dodger fans take over Petco Park. Get your tickets today at Padres.com/tickets. I don't know. After the way they've been playing, I don't think any Dodger fans are going to come down here. They've lost 4 straight games by 4 runs or more. It's the first time they've done that in 90 years. Crazy. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Now, get to the Padres situation. The offense, not very great right now. Last night, the offense contributed, got 8 hits, 8 for 34, scored 4 runs, drove in the 4 runs, but 13 strikeouts. Obviously, not that great. There were 3 walks yesterday, which was more than the Brewers, which is good. Padres offense was good enough to potentially win yesterday by getting 4 runs against this Brewers pitching staff that is top 10 in ERA for rotation and top 10 in ERA for their bullpen. Everybody except Merrill, France, and Laureano got a hit. Andujar got 2 hits yesterday. Only Andujar hits go for extra bases yesterday. He's been on fire. But at this point in time, as much as we think it's going to turn around, I mean, they got to eventually start making some type of an adjustment to get to that point. Because I think the offense is slowly improving, but it's still too much relying on the role players that aren't getting paid to be the guys that are carrying the offense. And we keep talking about this, but the Padres need to get their stars back before their role players start to regress back to the mean. Like Andujar's a high average guy. Love the fact that he has an 809 OPS. Ty France, solid hitter, hitting 254. Love that he has an OPS of 808. Those two can't be your guys leading the way in OPS on this team. They just can't be. They need way more production out of Manny Machado. I think Fernando is getting close. He was 1 for 3 last night. I think he's put together some good at-bats. He also walked last night as well. He just got under, this is the 2 games in a row that he just got under a baseball that could be a home run. But the offense is slowly improving. It's just not improving fast enough. And hopefully they can get out there and get the bats going. But unfortunately for the Pods, what did we say yesterday? These next 2 days are going to be even tougher than what you saw last night. Last night was the night to get the win. You got to try to win 1 in Milwaukee right now because you are looking for a 3-3 road trip, in my opinion. I think if the Padres go 500 for the month of May, I think you're going to be in a really good spot because you'll be 8 games above 500 going into June. Hopefully you can improve your offense over that time frame. And right now, based on how everybody else is playing the National League West, maybe you could still be in first place. But tonight's going to be tough. I mean, Mizorowski's not a joke. Guy throws over 100 miles an hour. He's an electric pitcher. He's got the most strikeouts right now in Major League. I don't know if he still does after Skeens put up 17 punch-outs yesterday. But the offense needs to improve, and they don't have a good opportunity tonight or the next day to potentially do that. And then you get the Mariners over the weekend. I will say this. I am encouraged by Nick Castellanos, who after hitting 146 on April 22nd, he's got his average to a 320 over his last 10 games. He's raised his total average 49 points and has 10 RBIs during that stretch. He talked about a lot of his adjustments that he made, but Castellanos, Andujar, a lot of the bench bats, Ty France, I mean, these are the guys that you brought in to be to be the bench pieces and to be the role players. I think they got some of the best role players and bench pieces in Major League Baseball. If they could get the stars to actually play at their caliber, this team is going to be hot. But the problem is we are now drifting further into May, and we haven't seen those guys make those adjustments. I think Fernando's getting better slowly but surely and contributing. Xander Bogaerts, of course, have done a great job this year. Jackson Merrill's been very up and down. Manny has not gotten anything done to start the year. We could keep dangling the carrot of what if, but they continue to not do well against fastballs, some of those guys, and the results are showing it. Positive side of the offense, the bench continues to play pretty well. The negative side, stars aren't really putting it fully together yet. And they need a little bit more. But I look at the way Castellanos is improving. I think that's a step in the right direction. I look at the way that Fernando's at-bats have been going. I think that's trending in the right direction. I think this home run, this streak of not hitting a home run, I think is going to end very soon. Because he has just missed 2 balls the last 2 games. But the offense with 4 runs yesterday, good improvement, but they need a lot more, Frank.
No, for sure. And that's the Stars have not starred, and they have not starred all season long. However, you still sit in first place in the National League West, which is a testament to what the bench and what the role and support players have been able to do, as well as your pitching staff who's kept you in most of these games. So for this offense, again, there are only so many more adjustments that you can make. You can only change the lineup so many times. You can only swap so many players around and out and into different positions. You can only substitute and pinch hit guys so often to try to figure out how to get this lineup to click. And it's taking a lot longer than I think anyone had expected this year.
At least they're still winning baseball game. I know they 100%. Lost last night, but at least, I mean, they're in first place right now.
Mm-hmm.
They could be doing that and be the Giants, although they're starting to win a little bit. But they're starting to win because their stars are actually starting to hit. Padres need to be able to get that going. All right. Enough about the Padres offense for right now. We'll talk more about the Padres in the next hour. We'll talk about Ethan Salas and the tear that he has been on in the next hour. It is time to talk about the other sports and what's trending in the sports world with today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, Frank, what do we got going on in the sports world today?
So we'll stick with baseball for number 1 here.
Number 1.
Cal Raleigh was 0 for 38 to start the game last night. He finally broke it. He got 2 hits. Congratulations to Cal Raleigh.
Big round of applause to Cal Raleigh. Big dumper, getting a couple of knocks.
100%. The reason why, apparently, he took a shower in full uniform. That is what we are attributing this to. He said sometimes you just got to go throw everything out the window and just go out there and say screw it and try to compete. Sometimes you got to put numbers and techniques and mechanics aside and just go out there and grind it out. Apparently grinding it out means going full uni in the shower. Worth it if it works?
It is. Baseball players do some crazy things. So you know what? Sometimes when you need a slump buster, you just wear a uniform in the shower. Do we think Fernando needs to do that to get a home run? Maybe. You know what? Might as well try it. Have you ever worn your work attire in the shower to break a cold stretch, Frank?
No.
Can't say I have either. I guess Cole Brooks has. Cole Brooks probably wore his best night out attire when he was just striking out at the bars. And you know what? Hopefully him taking a shower in full his best led to him breaking that streak. Not necessarily for me. I don't know if I'm able to do that.
I wonder if Jimon Choi ever stayed a random night in the Pfister Hotel just to break a streak.
It sounds like G-Man Choi is just permanently just living there in Milwaukee based on like the stories we heard.
Number 2.
Despite last season's playoff controversy, Notre Dame and the ACC appear to have repaired their relationship after Notre Dame was left out of the college football playoff in favor of Miami. Notre Dame athletic director Pete Pavakwa said relationships with the ACC is now healthy, even after Notre Dame previously felt the conference publicly pushed Miami's playoff case instead. Still, while the politics may be cooling down, the rivalry clearly isn't, especially when Notre Dame is already calling this year's rematch against Miami part of a, quote, revenge tour. Should conference politics and lobbying have influence on college football playoff selections, or should it stay strictly on what happens on the field?
I can't believe you're asking me that question. You know my answer.
Exactly.
Yeah, they should keep it on the field. I mean, this is nonsense on this, political stakes of money to try to get teams into college football. It's just enough of the red tape. Just have the conference winners in, make at-large bids. This is not rocket science. It's a pretty easy fix for the playoff.
Here's my biggest question, especially when it comes to the college football playoff. Why would the ACC push to have Notre Dame in the college football playoff if you're not in the ACC?
I don't think they get any of that money from. Well, they
Stop it.
They are in the ACC, just not in football.
That's why I emphasize college football playoff.
You don't know the backdoor deals going on there. They're trying to keep. They're like they're a partner for everything but football. Maybe they want one of their teams to make it. Maybe they feel like they can brag about it.
Join an conference.
I agree. The only reason why they are not joining a conference is the same reason why Major League Baseball hasn't centralized their TV contracts. Because these teams are making so much money on their own TV contract, they don't want to share it. Notre Dame doesn't want to share their NBC deal. They want it all for themselves. Stupid.
Still haven't won a national championship.
Number 3.
They were close against Alabama, weren't they? Close!
Exactly. That's
Close!
Yep.
Doesn't count, though. NFL players once again are pushing for more grass fields as several stadiums temporarily replace their turf with natural grass for the upcoming FIFA World Cup. J.C. Treader said the players overwhelmingly prefer grass, arguing it feels better on the body and questioning why world-class soccer players get premium surfaces while many NFL players still have to play on turf. With the NFL and Players Association already discussing stricter field standards in future years, the debate over player safety and player conditions is only getting louder. Should the NFL require every stadium to use natural grass, even if it costs owners more money and limits other stadium events?
Take for you. I think natural grass should be on every outdoor athletic playing surface that uses grass instead of turf.
I agree.
I don't like turf for professional sports. I don't like turf for college sports. I don't like turf for athletics. I really don't. Practice? Sure. Why not? High school, because it saves you money on irrigation and stuff like that. Totally understandable. Professional athletics should be on the best grass that they possibly can come up with. Because why? They can afford it. And it looks better. And it's a better playing surface. And it's cooler. And I mean, so many more perks to playing on grass over artificial turf. I'm sure there's a lot of turf companies that are listening. They're like, I don't know about that. I prefer the natural stuff. I'll leave it at that.
No, I agree. I think the turf looks nicer. You could do different things with it. You could do more designs with it. The paint is more annoying to do. But I like grass. I like grass better. It wouldn't help for me since I'm allergic to every grass and tree and bush that there is. But I like grass fields better.
I like grass fields better too. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We talked a little bit about Ethan Salas when one called in about him. Full breakdown on what he's been able to do so far this season. When he should be pulled up.
From the beaches to the ballparks, from the gas lamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
New lunchtime hour of the fans, brought to you by the Craft Taco, bold flavors, 2 locations, Sorrento Valley and inside Balboa Park's Natural History Museum.
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where the damn tacos at?
Taco Wednesday? Taco Wednesday? Where are
Sure,
the damn
why not?
tacos? I agree. Go Aztecs. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. If you want to join the show today. All right. A lot of different directions we go here in the noon lunchtime hour. By the way, this is what happened to me over the weekend. Did I tell you this story? I don't think I told you this story. I didn't tell anybody this story.
Uh-oh.
Let me see if I could do this. I got to see if there's any. I got to double check this photo real quick before I send it.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not great. It's fine. Oh, I didn't save the photo. It's in my
Wow, dude. Come on.
It's in my text, dude. Relax. Relax, bro.
Jeez.
Relax, bro.
Come on, man.
Relax.
No.
Bruh.
Why should I relax?
It's a Wednesday. Have a day, dog.
By the way,
I didn't see it in there. I'll just explain it. Okay. Here, let's get to it here. All right, so Friday. I had no USD obligations on Friday. No weekends. The last series for baseball is this week. Tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. So I had no obligations. Somebody tell Brandon in the YouTube chat to calm down and listen to my story. Story's good. So
story time with Braden.
yeah, story time. Yeah, it's great. So anyway, Friday was Padres were playing on Apple TV, right? I don't have Apple TV. So I was like, and the Ducks were playing. And I didn't want to go to the game on Friday. A lot of friends went to the game on Friday for Beer Fest. In fact, Sushi Sam invited me, but I was like, I want to play a little bit low, okay? I had a long week last week, okay? It's doing the football practice in the morning. And if anybody has seen the YouTube chat the last couple of days, you'll understand that that's an exhausting experience in itself, going to football practice. And then it was that Thursday, right? So I had the football practice in the morning, and then I had the Epic Padres roundtable presented by Epic Wings, and then it led into our show, right? And then it was the pregame and the postgame. I didn't get home till almost midnight. Didn't go to football practice on Friday. I was exhausted. It's a long week, right? Long week, doing a lot of different stuff. Okay, so with my friend, right? We all know who my friend is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she wanted to support one of her coaches who coaches at Scripps, our guy Kai. Shout out Kai. He coaches the boys team, the boys indoor, and they had a playoff game against CCA. CCA is the number 1 seed in Division I. Scripps Ranch was the 9. They upset Sage Creek. Sorry, Jocelyn. The number 8 seed. And they were playing in a playoff game at CCA. So I was like, okay, let's go to the volleyball game, and then we'll go to pitchers on the way back and watch Ducks Knights and Padres. Who did they play last week? They played the Cardinals, Padres Cardinals. So we went to Pacific Social first, had a little happy hour. I got roped into having a girl dinner. Do you know what a girl dinner is? You know what a girl dinner is?
Yeah, it's just a bunch
Something
of random stuff thrown together.
Yeah, nothing nutritious, stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happy hour, so it was all right. 2 Caesar salad and a side of fries is what we had. 2 Caesar salads, a side of fries, and some drinks.
Fair enough. Solid dinner.
So Had the dinner, had the happy hour, had a couple of, I had some, well drinks for like $5 or something like $7, whatever that was. So I had some whiskey gingers. Good stuff. Went to the CCA Scripps Ranch game. Shout out Scripps Ranch Indoor Boys Volleyball, by the way. They battled tough. There are a lot of sophomores on their team. Very young team, getting playoff experience. They pushed the number 1 seed in Division I CCA, who, by the way, won like 36 straight last year and lost in the Open. They took them to 5 sets. Great season for Scripps Ranch Volleyball. So on the way over to pitchers. So now a couple of different spots I'm going to, right? I've now gone to like 3 different locations. On the way to pitchers. As we're driving to pitchers, Apple CarPlay now has that little graphic that has like the scores on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I'm watching the road, and I keep peeking down at the graphic, and it's like, oh, scoreless. Bases loaded. Whatever, 1 out. And then it pops up. It goes 4-0 Cardinals. JJ Weatherholt single. I'm like, what is that? Yeah, that was terrible. So we get to pitchers. And at that point, as I walk into pitchers, the Padres are down 6-0, and I was already monitoring the Ducks game. They were down 6-0. But we had a nice night of pitchers, had pizza, hung out with Kai and his friend who actually works at pitchers. We were planning on going there anyway. Kind of felt bad. Is it weird, like, to go hang out at a spot that you work at? I don't think it's that weird. But I didn't want to. That was the place we were going to go to anyway.
Depends on where you work, I guess.
Right. She looked like she has a good time at pitchers. People at pitchers are nice.
Probably get a decent discount for the table, too.
Yeah. Shout out to Amin, who works at pitchers. See him every time. A lot of Mount Carmel alumni there at pitchers. Great spot. Penasquitos. So we have a good time, whatever. It's like 11 o'clock, winding down. Had a long week, tired. So we decide we're out. Pay the check, which shout out to Kai for paying the check. Didn't have to do that. He was all fired up. Whatever. Great season they had. So we drive home. So the entire time I had to worry about the fact that, like, there's a garage sale going on in Scripps Ranch on Saturday to make sure all my stuff was cleaned out. I'm thinking about that. I got sent a picture of like all these bats that I had. Which ones do you want to give away? I use them for different things. So I had to go save the bats that I didn't want to get basically given away for free. So I'm driving home. I get home. I deal with the bats. I put them in my trunk of my car. And I quickly realize I'm missing something. I don't have my wallet. I have no idea where my wallet is. And this is what's frustrating about not having my wallet. I check my pockets every 15 seconds to make sure I have everything.
Oh, yeah.
At all times of the day.
Yeah, you do.
I'm constantly
3-point tap,
checking my pockets for wallet, keys, phone, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my wallet. I start freaking out about that. I'm just, it's 11:30. I don't want to deal with the wallet thing. So I texted. We texted Kai about his friend that works at pitchers. Hey, did you see anything? Might have lost his wallet. I'm trying to retrace my steps. Just like no idea where my wallet is. Freaking out. And my friend goes like, "Did you check your car?" Yeah, I've checked my car like 1,000 times. She was like, I think we should go back to pitchers. I'm like, it's 11:30. I want to go to bed. It's like 11:30. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't really want to deal with this problem in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I hope it's at pitchers because I really don't want to have to like call Canyon Crest Academy to see if I left my wallet in the bleachers, which I didn't think I did. And I didn't want to go call Pacific Social. I didn't want to make this in like gigantic spectacle. And at this point, I'm like, all right, again, you're thinking about cards you got to cancel. I already thought I lost my ID and I just left it at Vaughn's the other day. So I have 2 IDs now and I replaced the old ID with the new one. So then I lost that one because I wouldn't have my wallet and all this other stuff. So she goes, I think we should go to pitchers and look for it. I'm like, they didn't see it. I don't know I don't know what me going there is going to do. Right? They said, there's nothing here at this table. There's nothing on the floor, nothing. Let's go to pitchers. All right. You know what? Fine. Let's just entertain this exercise of driving back to pitchers to see if I find a wallet that they personally have said, we checked the table, underneath the table, nothing. So we drive back to pitchers. in the parking lot, looking around just in case it might have fallen out before I got in my car, whatever. We walk inside. I look immediately to where we were sitting. I look at my chair. My wallet, because it's a money clip, it's got a thing, was stuck to the side of the chair. Just sitting there, hiding in plain sight. I immediately looked at the chair. I'm like, there it is. Thank the Lord. I thought I dropped it. I thought I left it on the table, whatever. I had my money clip in my back pocket. It got stuck to the chair. And when I got out,
it pulled it
off
out.
the bar stool, it still stuck to it. It pulled it out of my back pocket without me realizing. I got pickpocketed by my chair. It was sitting there on the side of the chair. And I was like, oh my God, thank God I showed back up the pictures. It would have sucked having to deal with this in the morning. They probably don't open at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I do need an air tag for my wallet. I was like, hey, you've got to be kidding me. And then I told the waitress that was helping, I was like, I found it. She's like, what? I looked everywhere for what was it? I was like, it was on the chair. It was attached to the side of the chair. It was hiding in plain sight, which is kind of a blessing because I think the clientele of pitchers probably would have saw it on the ground and given it to the bartenders.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's a blessing. It wasn't like on the ground, so we walked off. It was literally stuck to the side of the chair. I couldn't believe it. I'm gonna see if I can find the picture for you. I had to take a picture of it. Oh, here it is. I got it resent to me. Yeah, okay. I can send this to you. I'm gonna send this to you to show. Is it better to send it to you on your email? Okay. Let's save it. All right, let me send it to your email. I couldn't believe I found it, and I couldn't believe it was stuck to the chair. So I'm gonna send it to Frank real quick to show for the people on YouTube. God, what a feeling that was after the fact. I was just driving home. I was just like, oh, thank God. That's kind of the week that I had. But I couldn't believe that happened. It was ridiculous. The wallet that got stuck to the chair for the weekend. And thank God it was at Pitchers and not at CCA or at Pacific Social. Yeah, that clip was money. I mean, it had not. It was like right at the top of the chair. Do you see it? Did you just get it?
Yes, I just got it. That's impressive, actually.
Yeah, honestly, I was shocked. Like, hey, that's a heck of a wallet right there.
That is impressive.
All right, so Frank's getting it ready on the thing, but I don't need the fanny pack. I'm not going to wear the fanny pack. The
satchel.
I'm not going to wear the Indiana Jones satchel. I'm more responsible than this. I was so mad at myself the entire time driving to. Yeah, there it is. Right there on the side. Right there on the side of the chair. Nobody had any idea it was there.
Go Aztecs. Calm down a little bit, huh?
You're watching. What do you care? Unbelievable. Just hanging out. Just, you know what? It was having a good time at Pitchers. Didn't want to go home. Couldn't believe it. I thought that was hilarious. I saw the picture. I was like, amazing. There it is. Lucked out. My mom the next day was like, you're so lucky. I'm like, yes. I think from a glass half full perspective, yes, this is definitely a lucky experience.
That's interesting.
You know what's not lucky is like having to drive back for that.
What's interesting is it's kind of the same, the same color as the top of the chair. So you could mistake
kind of blends
that.
In.
Yeah, you could mistake that as like maybe a design in the chair with the wood. So it's, yeah.
That's what Jake Waters said. Looks like part of the chair, same color as the seat. You know, if that happened downtown, that would have been even, I mean, that's, some of the other areas that are party areas, I don't know if that would have lasted, but that right there that's a great hiding spot. That was awesome. That was my key card to get into this building. That was the other thing I had to do. Like, now I got to go get a new key card, all this stuff. Thank God. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973.
Wallet said last call for you, not for me.
Yeah, the wallet's still hanging out, man. It's having a good time. Drinking some Diet Millers. All chairs should have pockets. I don't know about that. People would leave their stuff in those pockets all the time.
All the time.
It's like leaving it in the airplane. What do you put in the front compartment of the airplane?
Trash.
That's it?
Or
Or like a drink.
Booklets that are there. That's all I do. I never put anything in there because I know I'll never remember to take it out.
Also true. Also true. Have you had anything like that happen to you?
No, I was the
Not
one.
Not specifically with a magnet wallet sticking to a chair. I mean, that would be kind of ridiculous.
I was the one, though, when I was a kid, when I'd sleep over at friends' houses, I would always leave something. Every single time. Oh,
you're that guy.
Yep, I was that.
Socks, sleeping bag.
Yeah, yep.
Dumb stuff.
All the time. I always left something. Every single time, without fail.
I never used to leave anything, but I've been on a little bit of I think it shows the level of how busy I've been. I left my sunglasses at my grandmother's house on Sunday. We did the Mother's Day stuff. They're still sitting there. I had to get my spares out.
Nice.
I got back home. I got a text from my mom. She's like, "Did you leave your Yep. I just automatically yes. I already know I did because I don't have them and I know I wore them there. So, yeah, that was I've never seen anything like that before. Thank you for the money clip. I mean, that was just regular wallet that had been on the ground. Who knows? Who knows whose hands it would have been in? Whose pockets it would have been in? That was my Friday.
But again, when it blends in so well to the chair, it looked like it belonged there. It looked like it was part of the design of the chair. So you got lucky there for sure.
I took a lot of L's on that day. That was a lot of L's. I took the wallet L. Padres took an L. Ducks got embarrassed at home in that game, which is it's a game that's probably going to haunt them if they end up losing this series. Who else took it? Surprenant volleyball. I was there to watch. Took an L. That was a day of L's.
Mets lost again.
I didn't want to bring that up. Yeah, that was a rough. Yeah, you took a lot of L's, I guess, too. I don't do the fanny pack. My friend, she does the fanny pack thing. She does the belt bag. I don't know. I don't need that. I have pockets. This is a fluke instance. This is not like it's not like I had, a drunken stupor and I lost all my stuff. It was pulled out of my pocket from the chair. Anyway. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll talk about Ethan Salas. Ethan Salas has been off to a great start in AA San Antonio. He's 4 years younger than the average player in AA San Antonio. Yet, is he worth potentially bringing up by the end of the season to the big league club? We'll talk about it when we come back. The MLB season right now is completely split in two directions. On one side, you've got the Chicago Cubs on a historic heater, multiple double-digit win streaks already this season, and now they're sitting at number one in baseball. Right behind them are the Milwaukee Brewers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the New York Yankees, still the heavyweights, still dangerous, and still loaded. But here's where it gets weird. The American League has only a few winning teams overall. In fact, they got 3. And yet it still dominates the top of the power rankings. So even though teams are struggling, they're still being viewed as contenders. Meanwhile, surprise team like the Cardinals, Royals, and Pirates are hanging around, and established teams like the Mets, Astros, and Mariners are all under pressure early. So are we watching true parity in baseball or just early season chaos before the real separation begins? American League is struggling, but the top is still loaded. There's a strange split happening in baseball right now as the American League has just 3 teams with winning records. And yet when you look at the power rankings from ESPN.com and MLB.com and all the power ranking aficionados out there, the American League still makes up nearly half of the top 16 teams. So what does this mean? League feels uneven, but the top end talent is absolutely real in the American League, even though they only have 3 teams with a winning record.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we went through them, didn't we? On the show, I believe it's just the Yankees, the Rays, and the A's,
and the Athletics
are the only 3, at least as of this recording.
And
on
then
Monday,
the Guardians are
11th.
500 if you want to, but they're not. It's not a winning record. It's not a winning team.
It is not. So you could definitely tell the Yankees obviously are very, very real. The A's can't really say for sure just yet. They've been down in the dumps for so many years. Same thing with the Rays, but when they have a team like this, when they have a good record like this, they usually stick around, and they have a lot of very, very good young players on that team. So those 3 teams, At least two of the three are very, very for real, I think.
New number one in these metrics, the Chicago Cubs. They've been on fire. We just saw them not too long ago here at Petco Park. They are the hottest team in baseball right now. And it's not just a hot streak, it's a historic one. Multiple 10-plus game winning streaks already this season. First team to do that since the 1955 Dodgers, and they're dominating at Wrigley Field. This feels like a team that's not just winning games, but it building its identity. And if the pitching holds, they're a legitimate World Series threat. But that's the big problem with the Cubs. I mean, they've had significant pitching injuries already this season, yet they've already racked up multiple 10-plus game winning streaks and have been almost unbeatable at Wrigley Field this year. I think eventually they're going to come back down to earth if pitching winning championships continues to be the phrase of baseball.
And this is another team that we talked about at the beginning of the season, it being off to just a god-awful start. They were in last place after the first 2 weeks of the season, and now they're up here doing what they're doing. You just had Boyd go down with a torn meniscus while sitting on the ground. Cade Horton's also out. They have a couple of other pitching injuries. I think Shota Imanaga might be the only healthy one in that starting rotation, when we're hearing rumblings already that they're looking to teams like the Mets inquiring about Freddie Peralta. So they're already out there looking for pitching help, and it's not even the middle of May yet.
I can't believe the Braves come in at number 2, just short of number 1. Nothing about them looks weak. I mean, they've been the standard so far this season. They just took 2 out of 3 from LA and really bludgeoned them over the weekend. Massive NL East lead. They lead the division by 8.5 games. They have stability across the lineup and the rotation. Still one of the most complete teams in baseball. And even when they're not number 1, they still feel like the safest bet in the National League right now.
They're also missing a lot of guys. Spencer Strider's starting to look like he's coming back to normal. Spencer Schwellenbach is on the IL right now. And I think part of the reason why Atlanta dropped to number 2 is because of how weak the National League East is. The Cubs are the first place team in the best division in baseball. And as you mentioned, the 2 10-plus game winning streaks. The Braves are good. Not going to take that away from them at all. But they're 8.5 games ahead in one of the worst divisions in baseball. I think that's why power rankings wise give the edge to the Cubs a little bit.
New contenders starting to emerge everywhere. I mean, obviously, the Dodgers are still elite, even with injuries. The Yankees are powered by breakout bats like Ben Rice to start the season. Tampa Bay quietly dominating the American League. In fact, they're in first place in the American League East. They're one of the 3 teams in the American League that have a winning record. And Milwaukee surviving chaos in the rotation. And that's a team that the Padres will play this week. Another team that's going to be battling for a spot. There are some surprise stories as well. St. Louis continuing to outperform expectations with a young core. Pirates still playing above 500 despite last place standing. Kansas City climbing thanks to Bobby Witt Jr. And the Oaklamento A's are staying competitive in the American League West. They lead the American League West. They're one of the 3 teams that have a winning record in the American League.
Yeah, and the A's are going to be coming to
on a Wednesday. Some people liked the story, others didn't. This guy wanted to drive off the road, so the story would be over. That's kind of mean, dude. Come on, man. Try to relate to people here.
Well, no, it's not that the story would be over. It's that your car would be crashed. You'd be laying in a ditch. And because the car you picked is actually a quality car, the radio would still be playing. So now you have a crashed car, you're hurt in a ditch, and still have the story going.
That sounds like the worst of all of them. Worst possible situation.
See?
Okay, let's talk about Ethan Salas. Juan jumped the gun, dude. Juan, I don't know how Juan got into our Google Doc of our show rundown, but he did, and he jumped the gun. Thank you, Juan. Foul on Juan.
He draws the foul.
Foul on Juan for having a great phone call that led to us getting to the segment earlier than we would like to. So we're going to recap that a little bit. I think we do the minor league conversations on Monday, right? And we go,
which is kind of why I didn't put this story in the sheet.
Right. We're going to talk to him on. We're going to talk to the AA guy on Monday, right?
Yes,
it's his turn.
Janselson, yes.
Okay, so Janselson and Janselson does a good job with telling us stories about, because he takes time to talk to these guys. Not to say the other guys don't, but I thought Janselson did a really good job with explaining to us a lot of the inside stories of the players in Double-A. So we were going to eventually address this. I think once a week on an update on the minor leagues is plenty in general terms. I think here's my overall philosophy about paying attention to the minor leagues. Foul on Nate. Come on, dude.
He draws the foul.
Here come the dad joke fouls for the chat. Anyway.
You only got two. You got, what, 3 more of them? Only 3 more.
Okay. Let's get back to this. Stay on track. So, I think when a ball club, like this is my philosophy on when I was producing the pre- and post-game show for the Padres. That was 2019. This was before that. That was like 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, like that era. When that was going on, that made sense to talk about the minor leagues a lot because the Padres were rebuild mode. They were trying to build their team together. They were trying to load up on the farm system. These were future potential stars for the team. It made sense to have a almost daily segment on the minor leagues, right? Makes sense? At this point in time, with where the Padres are at the big league level, and with the fact that they have traded away so many of their prospects, I don't think you need to talk about the minor leagues more than like once a week. So with that being said, you still can't ignore what Ethan Salas has been doing, and it's worth talking about now because of how good he has been so far this year. And he's officially re-entered MLB.com's top 100 prospect rankings after just a phenomenal offensive stretch at Double-A San Antonio. Not only has he jumped into MLB.com's top 100, he has like just jumped up the list on so many individuals who cover the minor leagues, top 100 prospects. And I don't know why he wouldn't. He was the top prospect when the Padres brought him in. He was one of the top 5 guys in all of baseball. Future can't miss guy at the catching position. And he's like 16 years old. Now he's 19. He's going into his age 20 season. His age 20, he'll turn 20 this year. But yesterday he hit his 6th home run. He has 6 homers since April 24th alone. He's slashing 314, 388, 559, has 20 RBIs in just 29 games. And this surge comes after missing almost all of 2025 with a back injury, falling out of MLB.com's top 100 rankings for the first time since signing, and struggling offensively in 2024 in high A Fort Wayne, where he only had a 599 OPS. Now, Ethan Salas is healthy. And he looks far more like the generational prospect the Padres believe they signed for $5.6 million as the top international prospect in 2023. The biggest development, of course, the power is showing up again. This is big news for the Padres and for a kid like Ethan Salas. I mean, for a teenage catcher in Double-A, 6 home runs in a short span is significant in itself. Salas has always been praised for having the baseball IQ, defensive maturity, leadership, advanced approach, but the long-term superstar ceiling depends on impact offense, and that's what's making this stretch especially encouraging, especially for a catching prospect. They do not have, Major League Baseball doesn't have a lot of guys that can rake and catch. There's a very finite amount of them, and you can't trade for them because they're usually on good teams. When you have a guy like this, you hang on to a player like this. And last year, I think a lot of people, because he missed most of season last year, were willing to potentially part ways. Maybe he's a bust, maybe this, maybe that. But this is why you stick with guys in the minor leagues. This is why you stick with players that are under 20 years old. I mean, he's going to turn 20 years old this year. He's 4 years younger than the average player in Double-A. And this is trending in a direction of why you do not trade this guy at the deadline because of what he could potentially be. And the Padres have shown a track record right now that they do keep one or two guys in their organization to be impact players. They traded for Fernando when he was like 17 years old. He was part of the minor leagues for a long time. He's still on this club. Say what you want. You can say what you want about Fernando right now, but everybody knows it's a big reason why this Padres team has been good over the last 5 years, 6 years, has been Fernando. I mean, you could say what you want about this, that, and the other. You got to give the credit where it's due sometimes. Jackson Merrill. Everybody loves Jackson Merrill. It's another guy they kept part of this organization. You have to keep some of these guys. It was good to see Luis Camposano start the season off well. Hopefully he can continue that when he comes back off the injured list. But this is why you don't give up on guys this young. And at this point, with the way things are trending, because again, it's his baseball IQ, it's his defensive maturity, it's his leadership skills, it's his advanced approach. These are all things that matter, I think, more than just how old Ethan Salas is. And we talked about this earlier in the show when Juan gave us the phone call about it, because the morning show discussed this as well. My thoughts on Ethan Salas are, if he continues to hit and has a big numbers this year up to September, I think it's worth potentially bringing him up in September. Because here's the thing. The biggest con to bringing up young prospects early is potentially ruining them, right? That's the biggest fear all the time. And you ruin prospects when you pull them up too soon and they haven't gone through that failure yet. Well, Ethan Salas, and albeit it's been a small sample, but Ethan Salas has gone from the top of the mountain to not ranked in the top 100. Is significant injury that misses all of last year, not hitting at a high level in 2024. He has seen a lot of challenges. He has battled a lot of adversity. He has seen the failure, and now he is having success again. That's the biggest lesson that you want to teach your young players in the minor leagues. So if you think he has been able to do that, I think it's worth looking at this guy in the September call-ups. I wouldn't pull him up now. If another catcher goes down, I still wouldn't think about pulling him up. I think it'd still be a little bit too early. He's on a nice stretch. Let him have continued success. Let him continue to build confidence. The earliest I would ever bring this kid up is at the end of the season this year. His age 20 season, which is different for a lot of guys, especially for catchers. You don't see that a lot. You can see it with the Bryce Harpers of the world, with the Fernando Tatis Jr.'s of the world, Manny Machado when he came up in Baltimore. If this player is up to that caliber, the reason why he wouldn't come up this early is because he's a catcher. But if he has checked off all the maturity boxes as a catcher, I think it's worth a look. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, Major League Baseball labor negotiations have officially begun. What was said? What's the process like? It's in the early showings of this. Are we going to have a lockout? We'll discuss when we come back. Plus, we need a contestant for a Midday Sports Standoff. We'll also get to that as well. Next segment. Braden Surprenant Show, standing as number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. Aztec baseball officially back on top of the Mountain West. Aztecs bounced back from having their 11-game winning streak snapped by UCSD and responded by winning the series against San Jose State to clinch at least a share of the conference regular season title. Now, San Diego State heads towards the Mountain West tournament as the likely number one seed, and they're doing it with balance. Power hitting, lockdown bullpen performances, and timely offense has turned this team into one of the hottest programs in the conference. Meanwhile, Aztec softball closed the season with four all Mountain West selections, highlighted by Caleb Pollard, earning first-team honors after leading the team in nearly every major offensive category. And football wrapped up spring camp with an active quarterback battle as the Aztecs prepare for year one in the Pac-12. Right now, San Diego State athletics has momentum everywhere you look. Let's talk about baseball, championship baseball. Aztecs had one of its biggest weekends of the spring season, and it starts with Aztec baseball officially putting itself back on top of the Mountain West.
Yeah, the Aztecs not only clinched a share of the Mountain West regular season title this week, but they also secured the likely number 1 seed as it comes to the Mountain West tournament. Meanwhile, softball closed out a season with individual conference honors, and San Diego State football wrapped up spring camp with an encouraging quarterback play heading into the program's first Pac-12 season.
Yeah, let's start on the diamond. Aztecs baseball continues to build one of the strongest late season runs in the conference, even after seeing its 11-game win streak snapped in an 8-4 loss to UCSD earlier in the week. Aztecs responded exactly the way championship caliber teams are supposed to do. They took 2-3 from San Jose State, officially clinched at least a share of the Mountain West regular season championship, and at 32-20 overall and 15-6 in conference play, they now sit firmly in control of entering the final weekend of the regular season, trying to get the number 1 seed in the Mountain West tournament. And it was a response after the streak ended this earlier on Tuesday of last week.
Yeah, the loss to UC San Diego could have turned into a momentum killer. Instead, it became a reset point for them. San Diego State answered immediately on Friday with an emphatic 11-1 run rule win over the Spartans, powered by 3 RBIs by Jabin Trotsky, 3 hits from Jake Jackson, and another dominating outing from Rohan Leto, who struck out 7 across 6 innings of work. The offense exploded early with 4 runs in the first inning. It just never let up. And that response matters because it shows the Aztecs weren't emotionally tied to the streak. They were focused on the bigger goal of winning the Mountain West.
Yeah, let's move forward to the big picture for Aztec baseball. What stands out most right now is the maturity of this baseball team. They're no longer relying on one style of winning. They can win slugfest. They can manufacture runs. They can grind out pitching battles and recover immediately after losses. That's why this group suddenly looks dangerous heading into postseason play. And with Jake Jackson now tied for the team lead in home runs and the bullpen continuing to stabilize, the timing couldn't be better as they try to clinch a spot potentially in the NCAA tournament if they can win the Mountain West tournament. On to softball. While the softball season came to a close this week, Aztecs still had major accomplishments recognized across the conference. 4 SDSU players earned all Mountain West honors. Caleb Pollard made first team. Jade Ignacio earned second team honors, while Layla Masario and Quinn Waki received honorable mention recognition. And Pollard's season was especially impressive. In conference play alone, she led the team in nearly every major offensive category: batting average, home runs, RBIs, slugging percentage, and OPS. That kind of production helped continue one of the most remarkable streaks in conference history. San Diego State has now had a player on the all Mountain West first team in every single season of the league's existence. We'll see if they start a new trend in the Pac-12 next year. Football, though, spring camp wraps up with a quarterback competition heating up.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge start. Biggest takeaway from the spring scrimmage was that quarterback fight. Jaden Denigal, last year's starter, Stone Saunders, and Drayden Trudeau all led scoring drives during the final scrimmage, while the defense also showed flashes with sacks, tackles for loss, and a goal line stand. Saunders finished with 144 passing yards and a touchdown, while Denigal showed command late in 2-minute situations. The defense also forced pressure consistently, totaling 6 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. Overall, spring takeaways seem pretty clear. San Diego State San Diego State has athleticism, depth, and competition, but now the challenge becomes translating that into Pac-12 level consistency this fall, especially now going into a power conference.
And it's going to be interesting to see them play in the Pac-12. Now it's going to be a lot of Mountain West schools that they have already played with and against, mixed with Oregon State and Washington State. Should be a more fun schedule at Snapdragon Stadium in the fall as well for the Aztecs throughout the entire season. They'll play James Madison at home, which is an interesting matchup for them as well. We'll see if San Diego State can kind of build some momentum here in football over the summer and into the fall season. They really need to have a good first year in the Pac-12 in order to do that. But that's your weekly update on Aztecs Athletics. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on Seneca Summer Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Part of the noon lunchtime hour. We're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. All of our guests join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not Big Bang Banking. It's better. It is almost time to get to today's Midday Sports Stand-Up. Before we do that, I do want to mention, and maybe we'll talk more about this in just a little bit. This is we saw yesterday the beginning of the labor negotiations. Baseball's march to a likely lockout is now officially underway as representatives from the commissioner's office at Major League Baseball and their counterparts at the Players Association met Tuesday in New York City to start what is expected to be a lengthy negotiation process en route to a new labor deal. A person briefed on the negotiations who was not authorized to speak publicly said. We can dive into some of that in the 1 o'clock hour in terms of like what the actual numbers are, what they're looking for, all this other stuff. This is kind of like expected at this point. It's routine. I mean, when they do these negotiations, the current labor negotiation, it ends on December 1st, right?
Correct.
If you got to get a new labor negotiation done, you're not going to start November 25th or in late November. You're not going to start after it's already over. You have to start the negotiation process early. Where you get the lockout is at the end when they still can't find common ground and it's used as leverage, essentially. So they're going to go through this process for the remainder of the year, starting yesterday, and they're going to not necessarily push the envelope too much. I don't think there's going to be a lot of concessions at this point for either side. One group's going to give this is what we want. The other group's going to say, this is what we want, and it's going to take forever for them to start negotiating. But they could theoretically come to an agreement before December 1st. That would be great for everybody. Then you don't have to worry about a lockout. But based on the track record of the last 2 times we've had to go through this process, once for COVID and then another time after that fact when the CBA expired, I just hope whatever comes out of this, because we're going to have to talk about this the whole offseason, aren't we? Didn't we have to? We had to do that a couple of years ago. It was just so... Ugh. I hope this time it is a 10-year deal or something crazy. It needs to be more. What was it, 6? It wasn't even a 6-year deal. It was like a 3-year deal. Whatever they did on the CBA that they needed to figure out. It was so short. It's like we just went through this process. I can't believe we're already coming up to it. But they've started the labor negotiations, and what we know is, the owners want a salary cap. Players don't want one of those. The owners also want to centralize the TV contracts. I'm sure the players have some guarantees mixed in. We'll dive into the finer details of that in the next hour. But all you need to know right now is they've started the negotiation process yesterday. I don't know how many times they're going to meet. I don't know when the next meeting is. I don't know what happened out of the first meeting. But I'm sure this is an interesting conversation that is being held of, here's what we want. We don't want that. All right, cool. We'll see you guys in about 2 months. That's how I feel sometimes these labor negotiations. But
we want this. We don't want that. Darn, thought we had it this time.
No,
all right, see you guys later.
We'll see you in 2 months. It would be nice for them to get this done way before, but I just don't think that's going to happen. This is just commonplace. This was expected to happen this early in the year. All right. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you call in and, I guess we already have our contestants, but we're going to get to our midday sports standoff. If whoever takes me on in sports trivia takes me down would be they will be qualified for a shot at our grand prize, a $500 gift card to Westgate Las Vegas, the home of legendary Vegas fun. Now offering the break away from fees package, including a $75 daily dining credit, 2-day spa passes, daily cabaret tickets, complimentary valet parking, and 0 resort fees. Special rates starting at $89 a night. Book now at westgatelasvegas.com. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
That's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frank, who we got playing today?
We have Alex playing today, and Alex is calling in from Del Mar. Alex, how you doing today, bud?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Happy to be on.
So the Padres with Lucas Giolito coming up and expected to make a start this weekend will be on their 9th different starting pitcher of the season. Padres threw, including openers, the Padres threw 14 different starting pitchers last year, including openers.
How many?
14. Who are they? Alex, you have the first guess.
Do we get do we get more points for more starts?
No, because there's so many. There's so many.
Be better. It'd be
All
fun.
right. I'll start off with Michael King.
Michael King, correct, made 15 starts.
All right. Let's go with Nick Pivetta.
Pivetta was second on the team with 31. Alex?
Dylan Cease.
Cease led the team with 32.
Randy Vasquez.
Randy Vasquez third on the team with 26.
Yu Darvish.
15 for Darvish.
All right. Stephen Kolek.
14.
JP Sears.
JP Sears made 5 starts, correct.
Nasty Nestor Cortez.
Cortez made 6.
Do we have 8 so far?
Yes. Again, this does include openers.
Oh, Kyle Hart. Kyle Hart.
Yes, Kyle Hart.
Kyle Hart was a starter at the beginning of the year, correct.
David Morgan was an opener twice last year.
Yes, he was.
Wandy Peralta. I think he opened too once.
He did.
Wandy Peralta did open, correct.
I was saving that one. Dang it. Well, we got 4 left.
Yep.
Ryan Bergert. Traded him.
Ryan Bergert made 7 starts, yes. Alex, if you get this one right, you'll at least guarantee yourself a tie.
Okay.
We got 3 left?
Here.
No, 2 left.
2 left. What did I not write down?
I don't really know. I'm going to pass.
Oh, no.
You still have an option for a tie. You still have the ability to tie. You can't beat him now.
All right. I'm pretty sure. We have an opener in there?
Yes. It's an opener and a starter.
I'm stuck between, on the openers, Logan Gillespie and Sean Reynolds.
50-50 shot.
I want to say it's Sean Reynolds. I'm going to go with Sean Reynolds.
Sean Reynolds is the last opener on the list. Alex, you can still tie if you get this one right.
Oh, you know what? Forgot about one more. We've talked about him a lot today. He made 1 last year.
Oh, Shane Waldron.
Try again. What's his name?
Oh, Matt Waldron.
There you
Matt
go.
Waldron.
Correct. All right. Alex, hang on the line. We will get your information here during the break. Dylan Cease, Nick Pavetta, Randy Vasquez, Yu Darvish, Michael King, Stephen Kolick, Ryan Bergert, Nestor Cortez, Kyle Hart, JP Sears, David Morgan, Wandy Peralta, Sean Reynolds, and Matt Waldron all made starts for the Padres last year. They're already up to 9 different starters this season with Giolito coming up this weekend. That's an impressive streak of starters you've gone through over the first month and a half.
Okay, hold on. So Giolito's going to be the 9th or the 10th?
Giolito would be the 9th.
He will be the 9th.
Yes, Giolito would be the 9th.
So you got King.
They're all on the sheet. But
Vasquez. I'm not looking at the sheet.
okay. Yes.
King, Pavetta, Vasquez.
Yes.
Who else made us? Bragley.
Yes.
Okay, that's 4. Who else? Bueller.
Yes.
Marquez.
Yes.
Marquez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Waldron.
Yeah.
That's 7. Who am I blanking on now? Canning.
Yes.
That's 8.
Yep. He is 8.
That's not totally surprising when you had like kind of a rotation of guys for the number 5 spot and you've started with some injuries.
Right.
Not totally crazy on that particular deal. Not a bad question.
Thank you.
Good job by Alex.
Got our Friday fun one coming up with no show tomorrow.
Our Friday fun food one, because it's kind of been food a lot too.
Yeah.
I do like those. Those are, I enjoy those. But you know what? Sometimes, like, one of my buddies was like, what's that have to do with Padres Cardinals? Nothing. It's fun.
Are you raising your voice at me?
Fun. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for ukuleles.
And it's for no survivors.
No, that you messed up. You put Plankton's one in there.
Oh, my bad.
Not allowed to have fun. Must be sports all the time. It's called fun. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for ukuleles. N is for anything and anytime at all, or whatever the last part is. Here in the deep blue sea. There you go. I know I had to get a SpongeBob reference in there. By the way, you know what I saw on social media today? There's way too much crap on social media, let me tell you.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
I haven't noticed.
Mm-hmm. Somebody made this is how great. You know what? Great idea. I watched it. Somebody decided to maybe they do this for TV and movies. They make like the food items from these things.
Yeah.
Somebody made Bubble Bass's order. And let me tell you, it was massive.
Oh, God, yeah.
And hilarious at the same time.
There's a guy several guys on YouTube that go through and make like food from different points in history. So like this guy has made like those like protein bricks that pirates used to eat. And tried it. And it's like
is this the same guy that like recreates the dinners of the presidents, like their like what they would eat? In a day? That guy's pretty interesting.
Yeah, eating through history or something like that.
Yeah,
he's made like the first class menu on the Titanic.
Some of the presidents have
stuff.
Like would eat the same thing every day, and it was like the most disgusting thing. I liked William Howard Taft's daily food. Did you like the amount of calories? He was like forcing himself to eat at like lunchtime because of how big the breakfast was and everything.
Jeez.
That's a big guy. Taft, President Taft. I don't know why I'm questioning the lyrics from a SpongeBob show, but like, you know, N is for anywhere and anytime at all. There's no N and it doesn't start with N. It starts with an A.
Pushing to the break. It's coming up in just 10 more seconds.
I will say this. We don't do that as bad as Gwen and Chris does. Gwen and Chris just openly just say like the time that they're going to. We're going to go to break. Can you stretch it? Scrappy's like, maybe like 2 minutes. Give us like 2 minutes.
Not as bad as Sam the first time he hosted a show.
Oh, no.
Let's talk with Scravy. He's like, yeah, we got a couple minutes here to till the breaks. Scravy, you got a sandwich over there? Is that what you
Some are not, they can't BS like we can. That's why my initials are BS. 1 o'clock on the Braden Surprenant Show. Settings over on Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. We are going to dive back into Padres baseball here in just a little bit. San Diego FC's got a game tonight. Frank is going to it. They host Austin FC. Two teams that have relatively the same records in the MLS. We'll talk about that coming up. And then we'll get you a preview of Padres and Brewers game 2 of the 3-game series in Milwaukee in just a little bit. To go back to what we were talking about, I found what we were talking about, this weird stuff that we have found on social media at the end of the last hour, and I said that somebody made Bubble Bass's Krabby Patty order on SpongeBob, and that led to the eating in history thing. And then there's a guy on social media has an account called Cooking with Congress, and he makes the food that was typical for presidents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching William Taft's deal was ridiculous. William Taft weighed 300 pounds. Did you know that?
I knew he's
a big guy.
Lorg.
I mean, 300 pounds in 1909 is, he had to look like he was like a behemoth individual. I think he was tall too. This is what Taft ate on a regular basis.
Okay.
His breakfast, a staple. He would have a 12-ounce steak, 2 full oranges,
Jesus,
toast, and coffee. He famously disliked eggs, so he wouldn't have eggs, but that was his breakfast. Lunch and dinner was relatively the same.
Oh, no.
Often featured steak, lobster Newburg, potatoes, boiled vegetables, and varied meats. He was fond of turtle soup.
Okay.
And was famously served possum and taters at a 1909 Georgia banquet where he had possum and sweet potatoes.
Lovely.
He also often ended meals with sweet treats such as bonbons and fruit.
Oh, you got to get the fruit in
No,
there.
of course. Holy cow.
Got to be healthy after downing all that possum, you know?
The turtle soup. I remember watching this video, and the guy that did it on the Cooking with Congress, he looked like he wanted to throw up on the turtle soup. I don't know how he was able to find the turtle. I think he said he knew a guy or something like
God.
that. There's some places still that sell the turtle that you can eat. So he ate the turtle soup. He looked like he was going to throw up. It's disgusting. Turtle soup.
Yeah,
the breakfast isn't that bad. I mean, it would be like your meal for lunch too. Steak, 2 oranges, toast, and coffee. Probably need some potatoes or something like that.
Somebody in the chat said it. The one that I watch is Tasting History. Binging with Babish is also a very good one. Other than that, I mean, that is very, very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the full detail from the video. He ate 12-ounce steak with coffee and fruit. Lunch included lamb chops, turtle soup, and Bermuda potatoes with coffee and sweets. He had coffee twice. Dinner is even bigger. He had salads, lobster stew, roasted turkey, steak, salmon, and possum with sweet potatoes. Dessert includes fruit and a 4-color cream fruit pie. He was eating 4,000 calories a day. Amazing. Somebody in the YouTube comments, I love your show, but you watch SpongeBob way too much. I haven't watched SpongeBob in 10 years.
Yeah,
I just quoted.
These are called core memories.
I know.
These are not current events.
I know. Not current events.
Yeah, Tasting History with Max Miller. The last one he just did was Pocket Soup from the 18th century. Feeding the Last Tsar of Russia. The oldest recipe in history. Hammurabi's Kansu stew. Welsh rabbit. The menu on the Concorde. Benjamin Franklin, the history of mayonnaise. Like, he's so much of this stuff. He makes it and then eats it while giving a history lesson. The weird eating habits of Nikola Tesla.
Nice.
If you want to watch any of those again, it's Tasting History with Max Miller.
Can't say I do. Maybe later. Next Padres off day. He's going to come back saying all these historical people started eating. Well, we ended the new lunchtime hour. Let's move on. All right. A couple other things that we did not get to from last night's game that we'll get to now is kind of a recap of what we have talked about. I mean, we were in the conversation earlier today about, Matt Waldron's days, I would imagine, are numbered at this point. After the outing he had, after what we have seen over the last handful of years. I don't want to get that conversation in again. I would imagine that Lucas Giolito will be added to the team before Saturday, and Matt Waldron will be designated for assignment because he's out of options. That would be my guess, assuming no injuries and what other potentially might be some crazy moves moving forward, because Lucas Giolito needs to be added on the roster by Saturday. I don't think we need to have that conversation again.
No.
We talked about the offense a little bit. Okay, they made some strides, but not enough to be in a position to, I think, make people feel comfortable about where they're at. I think they're improving slightly individually. They might be a couple of guys, but not collectively as a group. They're still not producing at the top of the lineup as much as they should. The bullpen, I mean, they've kind of carried this team so far this year. And even when they lost, they still carried the team last night. Bradley Rodriguez, as an opener, another 1-2-3 inning. He threw 7 pitches against the Giants, and yesterday he threw 11 pitches. 1.74 ERA on the season. Rodriguez has become a trusted bridge arm, continues outperforming expectations. I honestly think, today's May 13th. I honestly think, Frank, Bradley has done way better than I thought he would be up until this point. I knew he would be a good reliever. I knew he would be, he looked good last year. He was coming up to the minor leagues, had an electric arm, had good outings in spring training. I'm honestly surprised he is still putting up the numbers that he's putting up. I mean, he looks almost unhittable for most of the outings that he has, and they keep throwing him in a lot of different situations, which I think is good for the young 22-year-old.
Yeah, for sure. And Rodriguez, again, that's just when we spoke about it earlier about the possible options of who could possibly go down. Rodriguez has done absolutely nothing to warrant him getting sent down. David Morgan really hadn't done anything to warrant getting sent down either. However, he just so happened to have a bad stint when they needed somebody to come up. So he was the one that ended up getting sent down. Ron Marinaccio, same thing. He's had a decent year. They've thrown him out there to get beaten up a couple of times, which is why his ERA is so high. But he hasn't really done anything to garner getting DFA'd either. This entire bullpen has more than pulled their weight, no matter what situation that they've been asked to come into.
I think so too. I mean, the bullpen, it's not just, and here's the thing with the bullpen, like, it's not going to be perfect. Okay. There's a couple of outliers that are mixed in there for the San Diego Padres when it comes to their bullpen. Otherwise they would have the best numbers in Major League Baseball. And Brian Kenny even really talked about it, just how electric the bullpen has been for the Padres. He did it on MLB Network. I mean, he basically pointed out how their numbers don't really show just how dominant they have been in terms of their bullpen ERA, right? Because they had, well, I forget what game it was, but they had a big blow up where the game was already out of hand and the runs added on late. And, it was kind of like the Wandy Peralta situation against the Yankees last year, right? Where that kind of ruined his ERA for the rest of the year. In terms of the overall bullpen for the Padres, everybody, I think, has done a very nice job. And again, bullpen arms aren't going to have all electric ERAs that really jump off the screen, or jump off the page. But you start looking at some of these ERAs in the bullpen, they're really good. And here's the other thing that makes the bullpen so great. It's not just the fact that Mason Miller has been unhittable. Because I think he's really taken the storylines in the limelight of the bullpen because he is the closer of the bullpen and he has just put up stupid numbers and, can he win a Cy Young? And he's got 12 saves and 0.96 ERA. He had the scoreless streak for a long time. Yes, that definitely benefits the bullpen, but Ron Marinaccio has been solid in 22 and 2/3 innings. 4.37 ERA, not the best in the world, but pretty solid for a guy like Ron Marinaccio. The only guy that's really hurting you right now is Adrian Morejon, but he's been good as of late. He's another guy that's like not gotten rough start at the beginning of the year. It's gonna hurt your ERA, right? You look at some of the other names in this bullpen. Okay. Bradley Rodriguez is a 1.74 ERA. Wandy Peralta has a 2.66 ERA. Jason Adam, albeit it's only been in 13 games, he has a 1.50 ERA. Yuki Matsui, who just got activated again. He's pitched 2 games. He hasn't allowed a run in these 2 games. Jeremiah Estrada, he got off to a shaky start. His ERA is below 4 at this point in time. So you start looking at this bullpen, there are some outlier numbers in there that make the ERA not look very good. But this is the biggest reason why this team is having success in 2026. It is the bullpen and it is the timely hitting. I mean, timely hitting is so huge for a lot of teams, and I've seen it with a lot of other teams in baseball as we watch a lot of other teams in baseball play aside from the Padres. You can, say it's a lot easier to just score early and finish out games. I'm sure it's way less stressful that way, but a lot of good teams in baseball right now are winning games late. And that's honestly what separates good teams from bad teams. They're able to turn it on in the last couple innings when you really need them the most, and they have that clutch factor, and that's exactly what the Padres have done. And that's what the Braves have done this year. That's what the Dodgers do a lot of the times. They win it in the last couple of innings, shows the resilience this team has, and it shows that veteran presence this team has as well. But a lot of the success coming from the bullpen, and Wandy Peralta and Yuki Matsui, they did a job last night. They're not going to get credit for it. We never get positive comments about those two in particular because they go out there and they have to come in when the game is either out of hand or when they're losing. Those guys are unsung heroes of last night's game because they kept the Padres in the game. They threw up zeros when they needed to. They gave their offense an opportunity to win. That job is equally as important in the bullpen, Frank, as the guys that come in and close it with a lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the bullpen for the Padres yesterday went 5 1/3 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks. I mean, when you have an inning or an outing like Matt Waldron had yesterday, it's very easy to just let that completely spiral and just let run through the remainder of the bullpen and just kind of drop how much you care and just kind of give it that we'll go get them tomorrow attitude. But they didn't. They stayed strong. They did what this bullpen does every single night, which is give you quality outing after quality outing. And that's what made the game a lot closer than it could have been last night. And also, you got some sort of production out of the offense. Andujar home run, double, Castellanos a 2-run single with 2 outs. That is a huge. That was the biggest game the Padres offense has had in a while, and it gets overshadowed by 2 2/3 innings of 6-run, 8-hit ball.
I think if you look at Adrian Morejon's numbers too, I think if you start, and he has had some good numbers, he has had some not so good numbers. I mean, if you start looking at what he has done, since that stretch where he gave up, 6 earned runs over an inning, really over 2 innings in 3 outings in a row between Pittsburgh, Colorado, and Colorado. I mean, he has been he has come back down to earth in terms of like being a lot better, being more Adrian Morejon than we have seen. And again, it's always heightened a little bit at the beginning of the season because of the fact that you don't throw as many innings and, people are paying attention, obviously, out of the gate. It's not a lot to work off of. But even like some of the worst of the Padres bullpen this year has done a really good job and has helped this team win. And then I think it leads to the fact that, despite losing 8 of the last 13 games, the Padres, they still hold a half game lead in the National League West. I mean, they're getting the advantage of the Dodgers right now, of losing 4 straight, and the Dodgers being 4-9 over the last 13 games. I mean, this division is open right now, and it puts the Padres got to continue to be in a position that puts pressure on the Dodgers. That's where they have to be. And right now they're in that position. It would be nice for them to get back to their winning ways. It would be nice to rack off some wins. But you built up in April so you could survive May and June before you get to the end of July, August, and September, where the schedule starts to play more in your favor, most notably in the fact that you're playing teams later in the season that are not expected to be buyers at the deadline, that in fact are expected to be sellers at the deadline, and teams that will be a shell of themselves by the time you play them at the end of the year. And that's where you really rack up the wins. Tonight for the Padres, going to be a difficult task against Mizorowski. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. He's one of the best young pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. He throws over 100 miles an hour. He was an all-star last year because of the start that he had to the season. I mean, he is going to be a guy that's going to be tough to scratch and claw runs against. It's going to have to be the same approach like they had against Paul Skeens. You got to try to get him out of the game as early as you possibly can. And you got to be able to scratch and claw some runs. I mean, Michael King's got to be on his game. This is a great pitching matchup tonight between the Padres and the Brewers. Both pitchers have a sub-3 ERA, and Mizorowski's got 70 strikeouts. 70 strikeouts on the year so far. He's 3-2 with a 2.45 ERA, 70 punch-outs. Michael King, 3-2 with a 2.76 ERA, 45 strikeouts. We'll talk more about tonight's game in just a little bit. San Diego FC plays tonight. Frank will be at the contest. We'll get a little preview of that when we come back as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. College sports getting bigger and maybe more corporate than ever. College Football Coaches Association wants an even larger playoff, wants conference championship games eliminated, and wants the season done earlier in January. At the same time, March Madness is officially expanding from 68 to 76 teams next season. More playoff games, more tournament games, more TV inventory, and of course, more money. Supporters say this gives more athletes opportunities. Critics say it waters down what made these events special in the first place because, let's be honest, if conference title games disappear and March Madness keeps growing, college sports starts to looking a lot like professional sports. So are these expansions improving college athletics or slowly erasing the traditions fans actually care about? Let's talk about college football first. It could be getting even bigger. The American Football Coaches Association is pushing for major changes to the future of college football and their playoff. The Coaches Association wants to maximize the number of playoff teams, eliminate conference championship games, and finish the season by the second Monday in January. While the AFCA doesn't officially make the NCAA rules, its recommendations often influence future changes because coaches sit on major committees throughout college football. The organization didn't specify whether or not they endorsed the 16 or the 2014 playoff, but it made clear that expansion is a priority. And I look at this, Frank, and I like all of these ideas that they throw out there. I think it levels the playing field a little bit if you put in the correct playoff format with the amount of teams. I like being done by the second Monday in January. I also do not care about conference championship games. So overall, I like what the coaches have proposed. But again, things are trending in the direction of they need to expand the college football playoff, or they are going to expand the college football playoff.
Yeah, especially now, college football, conference championship games don't necessarily matter. I mean, it's not like an East and West. You're not playing two separate conference schedules. You're not fighting to see who number one is. It's all just one. It's all one championship, except for the Sun Belt. So at that point, when you don't have divisions breaking your conference up, there really is no point in a conference championship game. It's just another game. More playoff teams, I think, is right, especially if implemented correctly and not just given to a 6-6 SEC or Big Ten team. I don't mind any of the changes that are being proposed, but knowing the way college football is and the way college athletics are and television companies getting in the mix, I don't see them making these correct changes correctly.
No, I don't think so either. I think there's just too much influence. And here's the other thing, too, about the 2014 playoff. What I like about it, if they, again, do it properly, is it eliminates the win off the field gets you past. And it also opens up a window of, an opportunity where, you get to see teams that actually earn it on the field, right? I mean, that's where you want in college football. The other thing, too, for anybody that's against the whole, like, oh, it's going to ruin the regular season, it might ruin the regular season for like 3% of college teams. 97% of college teams in college football are going to be playing for something a little bit more at this point in time. Like if all of a sudden you got teams that are battling for spots in the college football playoffs. So I like the expansion to 24. I think it needs to happen. I think it's needed to happen for a long period of time. The conference championship games don't make sense because these conferences are so big and there's no, like you mentioned, there's no divisions or anything like that. It's not like it's an eliminator or a qualifier for anything. So make these all automatic qualifiers, get the politics out of college football and let them earn it on the field. And I think a lot of fans will like it, despite it seeming like it's an NFL light or a junior NFL. I think a lot of people just want to see a clear path to a potential opportunity for a championship. Now, from that perspective, I'm against March Madness officially expanding, and that's where we kind of try to transition into basketball. The NCAA officially announced that both the men's and women's basketball tournaments will expand from 68 teams to 76 teams beginning next season. This marks the biggest expansion for the men's tournament since the field jumped to 64 teams in 1985. New format adds more opening round games, more at-large opportunities, additional television inventory for broadcast partners. Only 52 teams will now automatically reach the traditional round of 64 compared to 60 under the current system. I hate this. I don't think this is great. I understand why they're doing it, but if they were doing it to give more opportunities for the Big West or the West Coast Conference out here on the West Coast of the Mountain West, some mid-major conferences that probably deserve it, all right, it makes sense. But to do it for more mediocre TV should be a fun one tonight, as Michael King will go against Mizorowski. Mizorowski has only faced one Padre. That Padre's hitting 1,000. Miguel Andujar, 2 for 2 against Mizorowski in his career. Nobody else has faced them.
How's about that?
Bat him leadoff. Where's prolific?
Let's not go too crazy.
Can we just have Miguel Andujar bat for us? Just have him bat all 9 spots, and then we'll just have guys run for him.
Oh.
He hits, gets the first. All right, buddy, come back. Get back in the box. Jackson, you can run for him now. There you go. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's talk about tonight's soccer game. 2 big games tonight for City of San Diego. You got the Padres at 4:40, and you got San Diego FC who will be on Fox Sports 1 tonight against Austin FC. That starts at 6:30. Frank's going to be at the game. Mm-hmm. We'll get the full recap on Friday because we're off tomorrow. But for San Diego FC, we talked about it yesterday briefly. We've talked about it on our update that we played during the commercial breaks on YouTube. They're starting to trend in the right direction, almost like the Padres offense, but they need to be able to overcome. They need to be able to get that next step of getting the victory now instead of just drawing against teams. Just as much as the Padres offense, yes, they're making the little strides. It's time to really break through on the offensive side of things. This is the same kind of concept for San Diego FC. They have played a lot better, but not enough to get the win. They need to get a win tonight, big time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Austin FC is a team that they handled well last year. They saw them a decent amount of times. Austin is 3-5-4, 3 wins, 5 draws, 4 losses. And San Diego FC, just swap a loss and a draw, you have the same record effectively. So this is going to be a big game. The offense has been there. Defense has been looking better. They've been looking over the last couple of games like it was just a slump that they went through. They're starting to figure it out and put everything back together. Unfortunately, defense right in the last couple of minutes has been really, really hurting them. So they've got Austin FC. They've got a lot of games at Snapdragon coming up here soon. Take a look at their schedule. They've got Austin coming up tonight. And then on Saturday, they are going to be playing Cincinnati. And then on the 23rd, they're hosting Vancouver. So they're going to be here. They're going to be playing a lot. They're going to be here a lot. So it's going to be it's a big stretch right now for San Diego FC for sure.
Yeah, they enter tonight desperate for a result after going 9 straight MLS matches without a win, which, by the way, if you told that to us in January,
impossible.
You'd be like, what?
Mm-hmm.
February? Excuse me? Like destroying teams like Toluca and advancing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, but we can't beat the MLS teams? You crazy?
Interesting.
Happens.
Also fun for no giveaways tonight for San Diego FC, but the two Saturday games. This Saturday is going to be the Anders Dreyer bobblehead night. And then the next one on the 23rd, which is a Saturday as well. It is the World's Game Country mini flag mini ball night. So for the first 10,000 fans, 14 and under, you get a mini soccer ball. That's a big one, especially with the World Cup coming up in a month. That one snuck up.
Yeah, it's fast. It got here quick.
Yes, it did, for sure.
Marcus Vartson, he's emerging.
Mm-hmm.
He's become the biggest bright spot offensively for this team. 4 goals in the past 5 matches for Marcus Vartson. Proves a true target striker presence for San Diego FC. Takes pressure off of Anders Dreyer, who had a great year last year. And he gives San Diego FC a more balance in the attack. I mean, the offense hasn't been the problem, though, for San Diego FC. It's been the back line that's very inexperienced that has led to multiple red card games and now giving up late equalizing goals in the final minutes.
And also for Ingvartsen, who only played 8 matches last year, started in 5, missed a lot of last year due to injury. He's got 8 goals, 2 assists on 27 shots total, 12 shots on target. He has been a very, very big contributor to this team. Took a lot of pressure off of Anders Dreyer from what he had last year on him, as he was really the only offensive player that was really going for San Diego FC. So it's been nice to see somebody else pick up that slack. And again, it's not an offensive issue with this team. It was a discipline issue. They've gotten over that, it appears. Now it's just a finishing issue with this team.
I will say, though, Mano Dua's starting to he's growing a little bit in the defensive side of things. I mean, the back line is slowly stabilizing after the rough stretch early in the season. I mean, at least you're not getting the red cards. I guess that's a feather in the cap. I mean, Mano Dua is starting to show why the club values his upside. I mean, early season included red cards and mistakes. Recently looks calmer and more composed in some of the games, and athleticism and recovery speed have become assets again for Mano Dua. I mean, the young guys, if they improve, this is going to be a step in the right direction for years to come, because they're getting that experience. Unfortunately, they're making a lot of mistakes along the way, but it's expected when you have a young group in the back.
Yeah, for sure. And there's only one way to get experience. And we talked about it a lot with Luis Camposano, is you got to play if you want to improve. And Padres gave Campy as many chances as possible to play, and he improved and showed that he could do it. Talking about the same thing with Jake Cronenworth as well. the back line here for San Diego FC, they're young. They need that experience, and the only way to get that experience is through playing, and they're going to make mistakes in that process. So it's kind of a good and bad you got to take with it.
Their biggest problem, of course, is closing the games. I mean, this is where the frustration comes in. I mean, they actually outplayed their opponents early in games. I mean, almost all of these games. I mean, there's been a couple where they haven't, but they have outplayed a lot of these teams early, and they just keep collapsing late. I mean, they had a 2-0 lead against LAFC. They allowed late equalizers against Seattle. They became passive protecting leads, and turnovers increased late in matches. And Mikey Varas said it in a column by Tom Krasovic that, quote, renounce the ball. The team renounced the ball late against Seattle and got pinned back defensively. That's becoming a trend. Strong first 70 minutes, conservative final 20 minutes, defensive shell, loss of possession, panic soccer. That's not a recipe for success.
No, and especially against LAFC, that one is going to hurt you. I mean, that one is going to be the biggest pain that you have, because looking through here, it was both of those goals were scored in the last 10 minutes, and the last one was scored 19 minutes into added time. That's a game, especially against a team of the quality of LAFC, that you could have really stamped and said, okay, we're back now, but could not finish. You just could not finish. And the Seattle Sounders, while they are good, aren't the world beaters that they were, say, 10, 15 years ago. They are a very solid team, and you took them to the limit, and they ended up clawing one back. Now you're playing against Austin, who's not great. Cincinnati had a very good season last year. Let me see what they're doing this year. I don't have hold on.
Well, Austin FC is going to come in. They're based on the scouting report. I mean, they have their own problems.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their own problems despite slightly better recent form. Nico Estevez, their head coach, openly criticized MLS's scheduling. They've had to travel Sunday night game in Minnesota, flight home Monday, flight to San Diego on Tuesday. Estevez called the schedule insane and reminded everyone the players are humans. They are not robots. He's already admitting the fatigue before it even happens. That could matter significantly against a San Diego team that wants to play with pace and possession.
Especially, they have not won a game on the road this year either. They're 3-2-1 at home. They're 0-3-3 on the road. So they are not a good road team by any stretch of the imagination. Cincinnati is 4-4-4 this season. They only have one road win, and then you have Vancouver, who has only played 3 games on the road. They're 1-2-0, so they've taken points in all of those road matches. It's going to be your toughest one. So you really have 2 teams that have not been good away from their friendly confines coming in here just this week that you really need to take advantage of to prove that you're kicking out and kind of salvage your relevancy for this season.
San Diego FC tonight needs to keep the possession late, which has been the biggest issue for San Diego FC. They keep retreating after taking leads instead of controlling the tempo. They must stay aggressive tonight against the Austin FC. Club plays its best soccer when they attack vertically and confidently. They need to finish their chances. They've created enough opportunities recently to win games comfortably, but haven't buried opponents. And the last thing they got to do is match Austin's physicality. Austin FC will likely try to slow the game and survive fatigue with compact defending. That's something that San Diego FC needs to be able to match, is the physicality. So this is a big game, I think. I think this is a bigger game than you would never normally see in the regular season, because they need to find a way to get back on track, because they're running out of time to be able to come back because of the hole that they've dug themselves into by not winning in 9 straight matches. They need to be able to do a lot of the things I just mentioned to be able to win tonight. Keep the possession, stay aggressive, finish chances. Anything I'm missing?
No, and one in chat says Portland wasn't a good road team either. And look what happened. San Diego FC right now is playing a lot better than they were when they played Portland a couple weeks ago. So I would I would definitely expect them to take one of these next two, if not both, especially against a team like Austin, they've handled pretty well.
When we come back, Padres Brewers Game 2, a final preview of that as we wrap up today's show. Braden Surprenant Show, Standing Room Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. There's the lineup. Hit the sounder. There we go. Took you a little bit. It's okay. So much soccer going on in here right now. What do we have? What is on TV right now? Well, I know Inter's up here somewhere. There's Inter. They're up here, I think.
Inter is putting belt to butt on Lazio right now in the Coppa Italia final, and then Man City just took a 3-0 lead against Crystal Palace.
Wow. Who's our fans of what in the chat?
Juan is very much rooting for Crystal Palace, so things are not going well.
Not great for him. Not great for Juan.
And I'll be watching Inter lift a trophy in about 10 minutes.
Viva.
Love it.
Love it. There's your soccer update for the day. We'll have one on Friday. Not with Drake. Not yet.
Yeah, no. Drake's still got, 2 weeks left?
We had a couple more weeks. But Frank's going to the San Diego FC game tonight. So he'll have a full report on Friday. We are off tomorrow, as if you heard during the last commercial break, Woods talk about Padres and pancakes. Padres have a 10:40 game tomorrow. 10:40? Is that what it was? Yeah, 10:40 tomorrow, which means the Ecowater SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt starts at 9:40, which means we are off. Also, no Epic Roundtable. Epic Padres Roundtable presented by Epic Wings. We're off tomorrow as well because we have the Padre game. Speaking of Padres games, Padres Brewers tonight. I mean, at this point, Frank is completely checked out of Mets baseball because we got 2 soccer games on right now.
They're not playing right now.
So
we had the 2
you'd
games.
be locked into baseball if that was the case.
We had the 2 baseball games on, waited until both of those were over to put the soccer games on, and now baseball's got nothing going on right now.
Nate's upset. No crash out today.
What am I going to do? I'm going to get mad at... I make fun of Ronald Acuna's annual IL stint. Francisco Alvarez just went on his. Torn meniscus. He's out for 2 months. What do you want me to do? He's out he gets hurt every single year.
I mean, at this point, he's just kicking a horse when he's down. In reality, because they have the worst record in baseball, do they not? No, they don't. With the win last night for the Metropolitans,
they smacked Detroit around a little bit. We got something big breaking down here.
Oh, we got a fight. Wow, a soccer fight. Is that worse than a baseball fight? They look like they actually make contact in this fight.
Official just throwing out
the
yellow
ref throwing cards
wherever.
up. Oh, that's a card. Oh, that's a card. I was like, why didn't you break up the fight first, buddy? Then start throwing the cards around.
And see what kicked this off. But
if you got 2 guys about to punch each other, do you think if you just throw a card in the air, they're just going to stop? Hang on a second.
Wait a minute.
Anyway, digress. The Mets have, there's 3 teams that have a worse record than the Mets. You want to tell me who those are? Trivia question.
Rockies, Red Sox.
Nope. Oh, you do the Rockies is right. Red Sox have a better record than the
Angels.
Mets. Yes, the Angels have the worst record in baseball. The Astros. It's fun. You can call them the Lastros again. Actually, no, because the Angels are worse than them. So you can't even call them the Lastros anymore. It's pretty close to the Lastros. 16-27 is bad. They've lost 4 straight, negative 44 in the run differential. Not great. Not great. We got the lineup today. Not a lot of changes from yesterday, to be honest with you. The exception is Ty France is playing today. And Rodolfo Duran is catching. Jackson Merrill bats leadoff and plays center field. Fernando Tatis Jr. will bat second, play second. Manny bats third, plays third. Miguel Andujar in the cleanup spot. He's the DH. Xander Bogaerts bats fifth, plays shortstop. Gavin Sheets in left field. He bats sixth. Nick Castellanos gets the start again in right field. He bats seventh. Ty France bats eighth and plays first base. And Rodolfo Duran is the catcher and bats ninth. Rodolfo Duran still looking for his first hit at the major league level. This is going to be tough sledding for the Padres today because Mizorowski has put up some impressive numbers this season already, just like he did last year at the beginning part of the year. And he's got 70 strikeouts.
Yeah, well, throwing a sinker at 103 will do that for you, you know?
How come he's able to do it for multiple innings?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Just wait
Well,
and
although
see.
he didn't last the whole season last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll wait and see when that surgery happens.
Mizorowski's 70 strikeouts are the most in all of baseball.
See, this is where it doesn't benefit you to have a bullpen that's a bunch of fireballers. Because you're gassed up for a starter who's going to be throwing 103, 102. Wouldn't it be nice to have a pitcher come in right after that throws 88s, just completely mess with your timing? It's like, I just got used to this guy throwing 120 at me. Now I got to bring it back to 60.
That's why you have like a guy like Zach Davies who throws like 89 up there before your bullpen goes up there.
Tyler Rogers, submariner too.
Oh, man.
It makes it worse.
Jacob Mizorowski's got 70 strikeouts. There are 4 other pitchers that have at least 60 strikeouts. Want to guess?
The other pitchers that
have at least 60 strikeouts. Padres faced one of them already.
Well, it wasn't Scoville.
No.
Skeens after last night, I'm sure.
No.
Really?
Skeens has 56.
Wow.
He's 56 punch-outs.
I'm trying to think of pitchers Padres have faced already.
They've only faced one of these guys. It was a loss. They won the series. His team is terrible.
No, they didn't face Crochet, and he was hurt for that series.
No, not Crochet. Team is literally terrible. They're like one of the teams you just mentioned. You were at the game.
No.
Jose Soriano.
Oh, yes. Idiot.
He has 61 strikeouts.
I was thinking Dolander.
No. Gavin Williams for the Guardians has 66 strikeouts. Christopher Sanchez has 67 strikeouts. And you know who's got 66 strikeouts that we haven't mentioned yet? Former Padre.
Uh-oh.
You want to guess?
Adam, why? Dude, come on, man.
He just heard terrible teams. So
I
he thought it was
know,
a mess.
but
You know what? He's in first place right now. You're dead last. There's not really much you can say about it.
I'm not saying like what's the matter. I'm like really, come on, man.
Last guy, come on.
It's Dylan Cease.
Dylan Cease. How about this for a stat line for Dylan Cease? It would be nice to have this Dylan Cease. 3-1 record, 1.4 WAR. He's got a 2.58 ERA through 8 starts, 45 and a third innings pitched, 66 strikeouts to 18 walks. He has allowed just 1 home run.
That's what pitching in Canada does for you.
Apparently. Dylan Cease. Everybody wanted to get rid of the guy. Hey, you know what? I was one of those guys. I mean, that is just crazy. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. What is going on?
I don't know.
Dan.
What happened there?
Our guy Fernando Tatis Jr. in the chat. Should he be getting ready for a game? Causing him a ruckus.
Brother.
I think tonight for the Padres, if you're able to get 2 runs on Mizorowski, I think you win. Yes?
I would like a third, but I think 2 might be.
You get 2 on him. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
He's got a 2.45 ERA. I mean, throughout his last couple of outings. Remember, he was the starter in the All-Star game last year.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I remember that.
Well deserved.
Yeah, well earned, well deserved. 3 starts, boom. All-star starter. Let's go. Let's make sure this game means absolutely nothing.
Mizorowski this year. So here, how about this? You ready for this?
Yep.
If Mizorowski gives up 2 runs or more, the Brewers have lost all but one of those games. He's given up 2 runs at least. Against the Pirates, he gave up 3 runs. The Brewers lost. Against the Marlins, he gave up 3 runs. The Brewers lost. Against the Blue Jays, he gave up 2 runs. The Brewers lost. Against the Red Sox, he gave up 3 runs. The Brewers lost. There is only one game out of the group where he gave up at least 2 runs where they won. That was back against Tampa Bay. They won 8-2. So in that stretch, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are the Brewers are 1-4 in Mizorowski starts when he allows 2 runs or more. If they score 2 runs, I think the Padres win tonight.
See, and the reason why is because the players are so like gobsmacked that he actually allowed an run, let alone 2, that they just can't figure it out at the plate.
Now, that being said, in his last 2 games, he has combined to go 11 1/3 innings, allowing 2 hits total, no runs, 4 total walks, and 19 total strikeouts. So as of late, he's not giving up any runs. That's why I say if they get 2 runs on Mizorowski tonight, they win. I think my bold prediction for the night, they get 2 runs on Mizorowski.
I think they win, but they're going to beat up the bullpen again. I don't think it's going to be off of Mizorowski. If they win, it's going to be in the final 3 innings.
Is that very bold? That's not very bold. It's like a lukewarm take. Bold. We're talking bold. Are you like whimpering now after yesterday's bold take? Come on, bold.
Bold take. Fine. Nick Castellanos inside the park home run. There you go.
No,
how's
I
that
said
for bold?
Not
there
stupid.
you go. Like, come on, dude.
Mine is reasonable. It's a reasonable bold take. Saying like, oh, they're going to beat the bullpen. That's what they've done the whole year. Bold, not dumb. Bold.
Let me see the line.
Come on. You got 45 seconds for the music starts. Bold, not dumb.
Bogarts hits a 2-run homer tonight.
All right. I think it's fair. It's good. Who's he hit it off of? Mizorowski? If he hits a 2-run home run for Mizorowski and the Padres win, we're not showing up to work tomorrow. I will not be showing up to work tomorrow. He's going to take the day off.
Jeez.
Not showing up tomorrow. Tell you that. That's not a crazy. The way Bogarts is swinging the bat. I mean, it's not crazy to say that he gets a hold of one off Mizorowski and
Rodolfo Duran gets a hit in his first at bat.
That's what I was waiting for.
I'll put that one on.
His first at bat.
Rodolfo Duran gets a hit in his first at bat tonight.
All right, I'll buy that. We'll see how we did on Friday. I guess we could have given a bold prediction for tomorrow's game too, because we're not going to be on. We'll be back with you on Friday. Gwen and Chris coming up next. We'll have some Padres Brewers games to break down when we return.